or not on this D-Day? That is a big question. But the bigger question, which everybody has in mind, and we will even put it out in our earlier trackers, is who is it damaging more? I think that is clearly DMK, because the
Yeah.
social coalition or the vote base is largely complementary or similar to DMK. If it does well in urban areas compared to rural areas, then the DMK could be in trouble, because the DMK had swept the KTCC region, 36
Right.
out of 37 seats
But if you look at
in
it, North Tamil Nadu, the 1 year has become very interesting. A 2% swing of the 1 year vote is a 23 seat differential. Now, if you were to look at this is 2021 Vidhan Sabha viewers. Now, if you look at the 2024, what happens? Look what happens. A 2% swing. Now, if there is another 1% moving away from the ADMK, the differential is more than 60 seats. That's what happened. 63 of 69 seats were won by the DMK when their vote share went up by just 1.5%. Just watch this. This is 45.52 in 2024. Look at the score in 2021. In 2021, they had again 45.58. This ADMK support dropped by 1.5%, and the seat conversions became huge for the DMK. So that 1 year community, is that again going to be an issue even as we queue up the Tevers? GVL Narasimha Rao.
Yeah, Anand, you see, again, I would like to go back to my previous point. Do not look at this. You see, it's unlike even in states like UP and Bihar, the caste divisions and voting along purely caste lines have I think the propensity has reduced tremendously. I think the people have started. That's how you're seeing a massive, unpredictable results. For example, if Bihar were to vote purely on caste lines, could NDA have got the kind of mandate we got? If people
Right.
were to vote cast on caste lines, would Maharashtra have delivered such a sweeping victory for the NDA? So
Correct.
increasingly, governance is becoming when Tabor versus Mukalator. This, I think, divisions are not really. None of these individual castes can really swing the election in one way or
No,
other.
but the numbers don't lie. What I'm saying, see, 2016, the Tevers in the 29 seats in central Tamil Nadu, where they are strong, even in this entire in this region, central Tamil Nadu. Look at this: 44.79 and 19 of the 29 seats. It's an absolute exact flip that happens in 2021. 19 seats to the DMK and 44% votes to the for the DMK. The moment they do that, the ADMK slips down 10 seats. So again, in each of these caste groupings, if there is a 2 to 3% shift, or the community decides to go one way or the other, the election swing, GVL. That's why I'm asking you, is this not going to be a factor this time? Or are you saying that there are factors over and above this which will perhaps make caste swing one way or the other?
Yeah, no, I think it's not the caste swinging. I repeat, I think for the second or third time, the swings are going to be across all areas, all regions, and across all castes, because the issues in this election are the same. The crime against women is as much an issue in Chennai as it is in Coimbatore or Madurai or Salem. Trichy, doesn't matter which part of the state they are. The governance is the principal issue in this election. Caste has certainly gone to the background. If caste was an important issue, maybe in the last election, it certainly would be a very minimal issue this election. It is purely the governance, misgovernance, not even the candidates. Because typically in assembly elections, MLA candidates have a huge play, and depending on the candidates and local incumbency, people vote in favor or against MLA candidates. But in this election, I see the state level factors and governance being the principal issue, and everything else has receded to the background.
If that's the case, Amitabh Tiwari, if you look at the assembly projections of Lok Sabha 2024, there was a 7% vote share difference between the DMK and ADMK in rural Tamil Nadu. That is 90 of the 234 seats in rural Tamil Nadu. There was a 7% vote share differential, but look at the number of seats. 80 of the 90 seats were taken away by the DMK plus or the ND bloc. And this is spread right across Tamil Nadu. So what would have changed between 2024 and 2026 for this trend to change, where the voter decides and there is a 6 or 5 or 6% swing away from the DMK and its alliance?
No, see, essentially, if you see in 2024 Lok Sabha election, the NDA partners, which is AIADMK and the BJP-led alliance, were contesting separately. So if you just add the vote shares, you will see that almost on 13 to 15 Lok Sabha seats, the NDA alliance or the ADMK alliance candidates would have won if that alliance was in place. So that was a strategic blunder, I think, which both the parties realized, and that's why they have regrouped and formed this alliance. Because if there was a three-way fight, or rather a four-way fight with the entry of Vijay, then the DMK would have benefited immensely. So 2024 is perhaps not a benchmark, because it is one Lok Sabha election wherein the people are looking at largely the BJP versus Congress as an option at the national level. 2021 is the correct base, and yes, as you mentioned, even in the rural areas, even in 2021, if you see, the support base of the ADMK or the NDA had declined, and this is what led to a massive mandate for the DMK. This time, there is a clear urban-rural divide in Tamil Nadu. If you go to Delta, there is clearly an agriculture crisis. Farmer associations have given a boycott call for the DMK, and because of the fact that the Tamil Nadu is still amongst the top 5 states in terms of farmer suicides. So there's a clear divide in this election this time: urban, rural, young, old, male, female. So all these dynamics is making this election much more complex and very interesting to analyze.
Urban plus rural Tamil Nadu is about 160 seats, and of which 90 seats are in rural Tamil Nadu. If you believe that there are other factors where people will rise above their caste considerations, and they will go, the other aspect is gender. The woman vote, how important is that going to be? Given the early turnout, is that an indicator towards perhaps a historic turnout or a record mandate, or are just people doing it before it becomes swelteringly hot down in Tamil Nadu? GVL, you've gone there. It's burning, actually. It's quite hot.
Yeah, Anand, I think the point Mr. Amitabh Tiwari makes is very valid. This has not been actually discussed during this campaign, but the farmer distress, the farmer anger is a very major issue. And this will certainly work for the NDA, not so much for, obviously the anger is against the DMK. The agricultural crisis, the fall in prices of agricultural commodities, state has not really come to the rescue of the farmers. And the sweltering heat, I have traveled across Tamil Nadu last 2-3 weeks, and Chennai is better. I think you feel much cooler in Chennai, but Madurai and places like Coimbatore, they are literally, I think it's difficult to campaign. I don't know how our leaders are campaigning. They're trying to avoid as much as possible the 3-4 hours in between noon and 3 p.m. Otherwise, it's impossible to campaign in this weather. In fact, that's a consideration that Election Commission must keep in mind in future, because states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra, in April, May, these are very hot months, and maybe in future a consideration must be made to avoid polling in such months. Now, coming to the issues, you see, but this is something that will not dissuade voters, because people value their vote immensely all over the country, but certainly more so in a state like Tamil Nadu, a very politically conscious state, where political battle lines are very clearly drawn, and women vote has traditionally favored the AIADMK more, possibly largely an account of the Madam Jayalalitha factor. And in this election, the crime against women has become the single most important issue. And therefore, I certainly expect women to vote against the DMK in this election, and that could power the ADMK alliances, the NDA's victory in Tamil Nadu.
True. Yes, let's ask the Bengalis also in the mix a little bit of their perception of Tamil Nadu before we talk Bengal. They've been patiently listening to what's happening south of the Vindhyas in a very, very critical state, and it's important at multiple levels. Even strategic level, national level discourse will be impacted. What happens in the opposition indie bloc based on the results in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they will have a bearing. And of course, how the Trinamool Congress performs in Bengal. But Shubir Bhaumik, Vijay factor, do you believe you're impressed with his campaign? You feel you can make a dent?
Well, there is a Vijay factor, in Tamil Nadu and possibly in Bengal. We'll see something similar in the shape of a left factor, because the left is trying to, recover some of its ground. Its mobilization has been quite heavy. And if you look at it, the two major players as they are perceived in Bengal, the Trinamool Congress and the BJP, both have appealed to the left in roundabout ways. The Shamik Bhattacharjee, the BJP president here, has said that don't waste your vote for us. He has appealed to the left voters. And on the other hand, not Trinamool Congress directly, but groups who are seen close to them, like Bangla Poko, they have actually gone to town and saying that BJP is an anti-Bengali party and, you should not vote for BJP, vote for Trinamool. But if you don't vote for Trinamool, at least vote for the left. So,
But we're not seeing this
thing.
kind of craze, Subir Bhaumik, that we are seeing for Vijay. Look at the crowd. Look at the people who have come there. He had to muscle his way through, and two of his close associates had to actually push and shove and muscle and protect him from going out. And now again he's jammed there. Cops are trying to give him protection. Media is trying to take pictures. But look at the people. Look at the fandom. Look at the people who are running around trying to say, we'd like to take a picture with you. Now, this cannot be orchestrated. This kind of a fervor for a leader. Are we seeing that in Bengal? Saira Shah Halim.
See, I tell you what, Mamata Banerjee does have a cult-like status here. However, this time around, it's a very bipolar election. I agree, the past 3 terms, it was built on the cult of Mamata Banerjee, the M factor, the minority vote, and things like that. However, this time, it's about governance. It's about corruption charges. It's about the SIR, the voters that have been deleted, unfortunately, from the electoral roll. And also the welfare schemes, because largely women across West Bengal do support Mamata Banerjee. As my previous panelist was commenting on West Bengal, left will play a very big factor because it is trying to come out of its shadows. It did hold a sway till 2011. However, things changed and it became a bipolar contest for the last couple of years. However, this time it's a very closely watched election. And the other parties that were considered irrelevant a couple of years ago are fighting back not only for this sustenance and the survival, but also for dominance. So we will see the third factor, which is the left, gaining a lot of seats, and that would determine the final outcome of the 2026 West Bengal election.
Right.
So it's going to be a very interesting election. We are already seeing large-scale deployment across West Bengal, and there's certain areas, wards, booths that are super sensitive.
Right.
And it actually reflects the charged environment in which the voting is going to take place. We have seen how there are controversies regarding voter rolls. There have been huge debates about migration, identity, and we've seen trains. People are already alleging that a lot of outsiders are coming into West Bengal in droves, in trains, and they're going to vote. There have been a new set of voters. So we don't know who
you said a very interesting thing. A lot of outsiders are coming in droves. Are these outsiders who came from outside into Bengal and then went outside of Bengal in droves across all of Bharat who are coming back in? That's another question many people are asking. What was being facilitated over the last many years, even under the left rule, which is today hurting Bharat? Are these the people who are coming back because they believe SIR and their name should not be struck off the voter rolls, and then they will have to be part of it? So that's another conversation of who are these outsiders actually. But GVL, this kind of a frenzy, we'd seen this for DMDK, Captain Vijay Kant. We've seen this in the past for Rajnikant. We've seen this for Kamala Hassan. But they never got beyond 8 to 10% in terms of vote share, and some of them never even fought elections. They all backed out. Will Vijay get more than 15%? And that will be a huge achievement. And if he does that, it will hurt the NDA's cause also.
Anand, you see, for a new player, it's always difficult to predict. But then, going by how film stars have fared in the recent elections, I think the frenzy is certainly is there. He's a very popular star, superstar, but does not. We have not seen this translate always into votes. There is a lot of stardom, so people come out to see them, but he also, the choice of his constituencies also clearly tells you that he also chose to he also felt only safer in constituencies where he has a stronger caste appeal. So he himself is confirming that Perambur or Trichy East is where he can possibly swing votes, because a lot of Dalit Christian population which lives there, which is likely to turn in his favor. So rest of the population is not likely to. They will come out to see him, but may not vote for him. Young fans, a section of his young fans may still vote, but I suspect if women who also like him will not vote for him, because women tend to make very rational choices, unlike maybe young voters who might get swayed by the film stardom. So I don't expect him to cross the 10% barrier. But in case he crosses that threshold, then he will hurt the DMK much more. Even at 5%, he can. The difference between the two alliances, the DMK, the TVK itself can bridge that gap. So
Right.
any vote shift from DMK to ADMK will give us, or to the NDA will give us a much bigger victory than what we would have got had Vijay not been in contest.
Right. Now the other big superstar is out to cast his ballot. We were about to take a break, but we're going to hold that, because you got to hold everything for when this man comes out to vote. That's his. That's the phenomenon that he is, and many wonder why he never took the political plunge. He almost did it via Rajni Makkal Mandram, but then backed off. And Rajnikant decided he would continue to entertain the masses as a superstar. But Thiru Rajnikant right now going there to cast his vote, and look at the crowd for him. 50 years in cinema, viewers. 50 years as a superstar. And he continues to enjoy that kind of fandom like nobody else does. And he's just been a normal person, never carried his whole on-screen persona off-screen, tried to be an absolutely normal person. Even now, look at this. He's just come as himself, without any makeup, hair, anything. No this reflection of his persona on screen. And perhaps that's what fans love about him. There he is. Will he speak to the media? We'll have to wait and watch. To the right of your screen, that is Rajnikant. To the left is Vijay. There were some comments that were made during the course of the election by the TVK against Mr. Rajnikant, and that really did not go down well at all. In fact, within 24 hours, they had to issue a correction, an apology, and retract, because it backfired for Vijay. Some missteps from the Vijay team that have happened in the last, through the course of this campaign, through the course of this build-up. Some adversities also that have come to the fore in terms of, or adverse reactions, adverse moments that have pegged their campaign back. But somehow, many believe that he is going to be a headache. The fact that the DMK has attacked him too, and the DMK has tried to stymie his campaign oftentimes, as alleged, is because they believe he is going to hurt their core vote bank, voter base. The NDA, meanwhile, has been guarded. The NDA has not taken him on directly, and they have allowed him to have a go at the DMK. And the DMK has often questioned this, that why is it that only Vijay is attacking only the DMK and nobody else. Meanwhile, to the right of your screen is Rajnikant. There is a lot of pushing, shoving, some amount of distance trying to be maintained to protect Rajni sir. But the media present, fans present, this is inside the voting booth, and look at all of them. Across generations, they've got their mobiles out to take a picture of him. That's the kind of fandom, stardom that Tamil Nadu or Tamil stars enjoy, because the fans really come out there and really adore their stars. Ajit has a similar fan following. So do some of the other stars. When they step out, they will all be coming out to cast their ballot. And also a big message to all the voters. If these superstars can come up and take the effort, make the effort to go out and vote, shouldn't every other person too exercise their franchise? So that's what perhaps the larger message is, whether they are contesting elections or not. That's the larger message. Manojit Mandal, good morning. Are you a Rajni fan, a Vijay fan? And does your fandom, will it translate into vote?
No, to be quite honest, I can't connect with Vijay, but yes, of course, who can't be Rajni's fan? I mean, we have seen him on the screen for the last 40 years in the Bollywood. I say he's been the mega star. But I think you are absolutely spot on. I mean, that kind of stardom, at least in today's world, in this century, is not really translating into vote. So I think Rajnikant, in that sense, his political journey ended quite prematurely. So was the journey of another big star like Kamal Haasan. So I do not think that people of Tamil Nadu will be making that kind of a choice, because ultimately they will go for the tried and tested formula, which obviously these two political parties or two political dispensations like DMK and AIDMK. Obviously, if you go for my take, the swing is definitely in favor of the DMK, especially I mean the kind of narrative they could garner because of the last parliamentary session, or regarding the issue of women reservation bill, saying that the Tamil Nadu especially would be completely ignored if this kind of bill is going to be passed. So I think that might have some connect with the people of Tamil Nadu. The southern states are really getting some of the other ignored by the central government. So I do not think really Tamil Nadu is going to go for any major changes. Yes, I'd love to see how BJP is doing out there, because BJP has not done any better in Tamil Nadu, except, as you know, that except in the state of Karnataka for the last how many years? It's about 20-25 years since the Bajpayee's era, that the BJP could not really penetrate beyond Karnataka. So this would be quite interesting in terms of what the BJP is doing in Tamil Nadu. Apart from that, I think people of Tamil Nadu, as you rightly pointed out, the caste is a very big factor, which is again the Dravid voters, I think, will again connect with the DMK, because DMK has that kind of the traditional vote bank since the time of the great Karunanidhi. So yeah, that's it. I think Tamil Nadu. If we look at the last major election of 2024, there I think Tamil Nadu DMK I think is quite ahead of the other political parties. And still, to be quite honest, IDMK is still trying to come out of the shadow of Mr. Lalita, the kind of colossal figure that he was. And to be quite frank, initially there was some security within the party that will really lead the path. I think that they have come to some kind of settlement, but nonetheless there could be also undercurrent within that political dispensation that, now myself realize very well the fact that they are directly, aligned with Bharatiya Janata Party, which maybe the Lalita has never done. This is separated from outside. That did not really.
Manojit, there's some distortion in your audio. We'll try and sort that out. You make an important point. And GVL, is this going to be important for the BJP, both the Bengal and Tamil Nadu? Many believe that the BJP will now be on the wane if it does not make a dent in Bengal. And its also relevance in Tamil Nadu perhaps will be questioned after making so much of effort if you are not able to bring in a high conversion ratio of at least 55 to 60% in the 25 seats that you're contesting, because a lot of them are directly against the DMK.
Please take in live, G. Please take in live.
All right, these are pictures. We'll go across to GVL in a bit. These are pictures of the incumbent, Tamil Nadu's Tamil Nadu's chief minister, the DMK's leader, perhaps the biggest face in the political arena today, that is MK Stalin, who is, after casting his vote, he is coming out. Will he speak? We'll have to just wait. Edappadi Palaniswamy did urge the people to go out and vote in large numbers. MK Stalin, after casting the ballot, he came out quite confident. Udayanidhi is also right behind him. Will there be a passing of the baton from Stalin to Udayanidhi if the DMK is able to once again hold fort and retain power, buck this entire trend of anti-incumbency like J. Jayalalitha did in 2016? Will Stalin be able to do that and the DMK be able to do that this time around is a question many ask. There is a fair distance that is always maintained. The security quadrant very, very strong as Stalin steps out to vote. This will be a big test because the DMK's relevance, Udayanidhi Stalin's leadership and his own relevance, all of this will be questioned. Also within the family, there are others who have been the political masterminds working behind the scene, trying to orchestrate this or curate this entire campaign of the DMK. Udayanidhi is speaking.
Be a tough election or an easy election?
That we'll know on May 4th. I believe it's going to be a sweep for our alliance, our chief minister. Definitely will win.
Can NDA make inroads this time?
Definitely not. People of Tamil Nadu are very smart. They will take a very good decision.
All the best, sir.
Thank you very much.
Conversation in with Udayanidhi Stalin. That's the CNN News 18 exclusive. We'll try and play that out in full in just a bit and also get Purnima to understand what is it was the mood. Because there is a quiet confidence, or is it perhaps a certain level of nervousness that came across? Udayanidhi Stalin largely soft-spoken when he speaks with the media, interacts with people, maintaining that same tenor, or is there a certain nervousness? What do they think about the Vijay factor? We'll get Purnima live and try and understand and also play out that entire conversation with Udayanidhi Stalin again, even as we are standing by for MK Stalin's reaction after he casts his franchise, his ballot.
Server 3, sir. Server 3, sir. Server 3.
At in these elections. GVL Narasimha Rao with us. GVL, as much as a challenge for the DMK and the Trinamool Congress, the onus is also on the BJP to establish itself.
No, absolutely. I think we are contesting as part of an alliance in Tamil Nadu, and the victory for the NDA, because it's not the Tamil Nadu has always been a state which voted alliances into power. There are very rare occasions where a single party can come to power, and this election will certainly see BJP establishing itself as a significant party. You see, and we fought as what is important also is the NDA fought as a united alliance this time. You've seen how DMK and Congress, they despite being a part of the alliance, they never came together. Stalin and Rahul Gandhi never even mentioned each other, never joined any rallies together. On the other hand, on NDA rallies, you've seen, despite this so-called narrative that Stalin tried to build of Chennai, Tamil Nadu versus Delhi, we had a very strong campaigning by both Prime Minister and EPS joining together on stage on multiple occasions. And in Bengal, this is certainly going to be a major push for the BJP, and we are coming to power. 15 years of TMC has such a vast amount of accumulated anti-incumbency. People are looking for breathing out the TMC in Bengal. So certainly it will be a very big victory for the BJP in Bengal, a very surprising victory, something I think will certainly give a rude shock to the TMC and its leadership.
Right. Purnima is live with us. Purnima, what was Udayanidhi Stalin's mood, or what did you read from the DMK corner? He seemed very comfortable speaking with you, looked very relaxed, but was that quiet confidence or was that nervousness?
Well, it's a mix of both, because both the DMK and the AIADMK, while they say that they are confident, no one knows the kind of impact Vijay will have this time. Yes, he is the X factor, but political analysts say it may not help TVK win seats, but he will eat into one of the party's votes, and we'll have to wait and see whether his debut will impact the DMK or the AIADMK. So both the Dravidian parties are wary of Vijay, and only on the 4th of May there will be clarity in terms of whether the huge crowds that gather for Vijay, whether it will consolidate into votes and which party will it impact the most. So all eyes on the 4th of May. But DMK is saying that they are confident, and they say that it's a bipolar contest as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, and the fight is between the DMK and the NDA.
Say about the Vijay factor? We missed that as you were playing that out. We'll play that out again. You asked about EPS and the NDA and he brushed them off. But did he answer the Vijay question?
Well, in fact, we'll try and ask him that question once he comes out. He was on his way to cast his vote. Of course, one of the questions asked was whether it is an unpredictable election, whether it's going to be a tough election. He says only the people have to decide that, and we'll know the answer on the 4th of May. So that's the response to the question on whether it's a tight election this time or is it a predictable election. But on Vijay, we'll have to wait for him to cast his vote and come out, and we'll try and get that reaction from him once again.
What did MK Stalin have to say? There were people who were asking him questions. He walked out with the family. The family has actually gone in together to cast their franchise. What was Mr. Stalin's demeanor?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. After casting his vote, MK Stalin will come and address the media. We'll have to wait and see whether he will take questions. So far, the DMK has not directly responded on Vijay. In fact, they continue to maintain their narrative that this election is a fight between the NDA and Tamil Nadu. So that's the stance that they continue to reiterate and rule out the Vijay factor or mention his name, saying that the real contest this time is between the NDA and Tamil Nadu. That's been the response so far by all the leaders of the DMK. And they say that Vijay is only a star and people don't look at him as a serious politician. Therefore, they have nothing more to add on the Vijay factor. The AIADMK and NDA, in fact, we just spoke to Tamilisai Soundararajan a short while ago. As you can see on the screen, Tamilisai Soundararajan there, in fact, visiting the poll booth where MK Stalin, in fact, is casting his vote. So we'll have to wait and see. But Tamilisai Soundararajan there saying that yes, there is a Vijay factor, but that will not impact the NDA. It will only impact the DMK. That's the statement coming in from Tamilisai. Interesting visuals here. Tamilisai Soundararajan visiting the booth here while Chief Minister and his family they are here to cast their votes. You can see the visuals on the screen.
Right. I'm just going to ask who all were there along with Stalin. There you go, MK Stalin, the incumbent chief minister, there just has filled his form, signed there, and now he's going to go towards the ballot box to the right of your screen. That's the big moment. We should also have Edappadi Palaniswamy casting his ballot. It's a three-way fight. Not just Vijay, but EPS and the ADMK are also an important factor in this election. And Stalin, as he walks up to the ballot box to cast his franchise. Let's go full frame to that, if we can go full frame to that picture. Stalin casting his ballot. There you go. The chief minister. There is a lot at stake for the DMK. For Stalin, the passing of the baton, the transfer of power, Deputy Chief Minister Udayinidhi Stalin, will that happen if the DMK holds forth? Also, the DMK Congress combine along with the DMDK, if they are able to buck the trend of anti-incumbency and the pressures of anti-incumbency and then hold on to power, then will they also become stronger within the Indy bloc, in the alliance? Will then, that will also, one will have to see. Many have said that Stalin should actually take on a greater role nationally. But he has always said that he is happy in Tamil Nadu and he'll do what is required at the right time. Purnima, that is also an important factor. Both in Bengal and in Tamil Nadu, we see the passing of the baton within the entire ranks of the dynasty or within the family. Udayinidhi Stalin has been the Deputy Chief Minister, patiently waiting in the ranks. Will we see his rise to the Chief Minister's place if the DMK wins handsomely? What happens with the DMK nationally? These are all questions which are important. And 3 years from now will be another test of the Lok Sabha. Okay, we connect with Purnima in a bit. GVL Narasimha.
2026 election.
Yeah, we hear you now. Go ahead, please. There's a bit of a delay. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yes, Purnima, go
Well,
ahead.
it's an interesting election because the criticism that DMK and the Congress face is that Rahul Gandhi and Stalin did not campaign together. Not all is well between the DMK and Congress, which is why there was no common rally addressed by the DMK and Congress. And that's a criticism that the ADMK and the BJP have reiterated during the narrative, said that the India bloc is not together. And that is evident from the DMK Congress not campaigning together, the leaders not campaigning together. That's a criticism that they face. Whether all eyes on whether the DMK Congress alliance will be able to win, whether that relationship will continue to stay strong till 2029 remains to be seen. But all eyes on the 4th of May to know what really happens and the kind of developments that will take place following the results.
You had that conversation with Udaynidhi Stalin. We've got that cued again. Let's play that out and then we go across to our guests.
Your message to the voters:
Please come and vote. This is your right.
is this going to be a tough election or an easy election?
That we'll know on May 4th. I believe it's going to be a sweep for our alliance, our chief minister. Definitely will win.
Can NDA make inroads this time?
Definitely not. People of Tamil Nadu are very smart. They will take a very good decision.
All the best, sir.
Thank you very much.
Short, sharp questions there. The fourth one we would have liked to squeeze. We are journalists. We always want a little more viewers. The question about Vijay, but the person at the center casting his ballot, he also holds the key. Whether or not he can organize the cadre, the ADMK, and perhaps do the work on ground. It's a test of his leadership too. A lot is at stake for EPS, Edappadi Palaniswamy, because it was at his insistence that the BJP have actually sidelined Annamalai, who was trying to gain a lot of traction for the BJP on ground in the 2024 elections. Udaynidhi Stalin now casting his ballot, smiled for the cameras, looking happy, relaxed. He was there at our town hall and he was very confident that the DMK will be able to hold on to its voter base despite the Vijay's onslaught and the attacks at the DMK. They were pushing the Tamil Nadu growth story. Even as there are reports of farmer distress and discontent on ground, there will always be problems in a state. But the mood of the voter, mood of the Janta, is it in favor of whatever is there, let it be, or do they want the winds of change to blow? It's in the mind of the voter. And the Tamil voter historically has had a shift of power every 5 years. That trend was bucked by SLV J. Jayalalitha in 2016. Will that trend be again bucked by the DMK, which returned a huge and a phenomenal return or a performance at the Lok Sabha 2024? Will they be able to hold on to those gains in 2026, or will there be a reversal? That's the big question. It's all upon you, the voter of Tamil Nadu. Stalin, to the left of your screens, viewers, that's Purnima's frame. Our VJ getting those pictures as MK Stalin and the family are stepping out of the polling booth. They're coming out. They will walk towards. Whether Thiru Stalin will actually speak to the media, we'll have to wait and watch. The still photographers allowed proximity. They've taken those pictures and they're running towards the camera where our camera is positioned to the left of your screen. There you go. MK Stalin speaking.
எப்படி ஜனநாயக கடமை ஆற்றிருக்கணும் அதே மாதிரி தமிழ்நாட்டு வாக்காளர்கள் தன்னுடைய ஜனநாயக கடமையை முறையாக
Just like I have come out and exercised my franchise, I would like all of the people of Tamil Nadu to come out and vote, cast what is their right, their ballot.
நல்ல கருத்துன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காரு. நல்ல கருத்து தான். ஒரே சொல்றேன், தமிழ்நாடு வெல்லும்.
Say only one thing, Tamil Nadu will win. That's what he's saying. I have only one thing to say, Tamil Nadu will win. That's what he has said, MK Stalin there. Whether or not he offers a comment to Purnima or Udaynidhi speaks a little more to Purnima, we'll have to wait and watch. But the entire family turning out together, coming together to cast their franchise, to cast their ballot. Durga Stalin is also present there. The entire Stalin family is there, right at the center of your screens. We'll see if he speaks again or says anything more. So Vijay casts his vote, Edappadi Palaniswamy casts his vote, Stalin and family cast their vote. Everybody is turning around and telling the people of Tamil Nadu, come out and vote. Let it be a decisive, a mandate that is decided by a record turnout of voters. Purnima is with us. Yes, Purnima.
Well, in fact, we'll try and get a reaction. We'll also try and get a reaction from the Chief Minister. Sir, unga message enna sir viewers. Sir, unga message enna sir viewers. Sir, unga message enna sir voters unga message enna sir.
ஜனநாயக கடமை மக்கள் ஆற்ற வேண்டும், வாக்காளர் ஆற்ற வேண்டும். தமிழ்நாடு வெல்லும்.
இந்த முறை வின் பண்ற கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் இருக்கா சார்? So that's the kind of statement that in fact we are getting.
Live on your frame, your VJ, we will have to ask him to try and bring that frame back down if he can hear you. Yes, Purnima, go ahead. You asked him something. What did he say? What was his response to your question?
Well, he said people should come and democratically vote. So that's the kind of statement that, in fact, we have got from DMK President M.K. Stalin. That's a very short one, and we'll have to just try and ask him once again.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we are with you. We are with you. Go ahead, Purnima. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, we'll try and connect once again. Okay.
Right, so M.K. Stalin exiting after a quick chat with Purnima, where he said we'd like people of Tamil Nadu to come out and vote and we want Tamil Nadu to win. That's what he has said. We stay with these pictures as Stalin makes his exit and enters his vehicle. The Chief Minister's cavalcade will be on. Udayanidhi, Stalin should also be following closely. Yeah, go ahead, Purnima, go ahead.
Saravanan sir? Well, the second, we tried asking a second question, but he didn't respond. We'll try and ask him again if possible. Otherwise, we'll also ask Udayanidhi on the Vijay factor, because he's also coming out. We'll have to wait and see how much of an impact
Right.
the DMK will have. We'll have to wait and see. We'll try and ask him. We'll.
Right, there he is. That's Udayanidhi getting into the car right behind M.K. Stalin. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yes,
sorry,
Purnima.
Anand, we were not able to get closer to them. We did have a short conversation with Udayanidhi before he came to cast his vote, and we also tried getting a short response from M.K. Stalin. He wasn't able to take questions. He before asking him the second question, he just said enough. So we tried, but just a very short answer that we managed to get from DMK President M.K. Stalin here.
What did he say? What was his message after he came out to vote? He said towards the end, he said Tamil Nadu will win. What was the intent of that message?
Well, that's the narrative that the DMK says, that this fight or 2026 election is between the NDA and Tamil Nadu, and that Tamil Nadu will win. So that's the narrative that M.K. Stalin tried saying once again, that this time the fight is between Tamil Nadu and NDA, and that Tamil Nadu will win, and the BJP and the NDA cannot make inroads in the state. So that's the pitch that M.K. Stalin had made while addressing the press here a short while ago, and a very short quick answer that we managed to get is asking people to come out and cast their vote.
Right, Purnima, great job done. GVL Narasimha Rao, I'm just going to check if he's there. Sumansi Raman is also with us this morning. Abhijit Iyer Mitra with us this morning. Good morning, gentlemen. NDA versus Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu will win. Sumant Raman? Is there a softer message here where NDA has been replaced for India versus Tamil Nadu, or Bharat versus Tamil Nadu, and he's made it NDA versus Tamil Nadu? Or has he made it that DMK is the only true representative of the state of Tamil Nadu? How would you interpret this?
I think a government that has gone to the people after 5 years in power would have spoken about their programs, what they have done for the people. But finally, it has boiled down to Delhi versus Tamil Nadu. In fact, during the campaign, it was Delhi versus Tamil Nadu. So, do you want to be, do you want all decisions to be taken in Chennai, or do you want them to be taken in Delhi for your own welfare or benefit? So, that is the kind of narrative that they have, finally been reduced to. So I think they're feeling a little bit of a pressure, of the Vijay factor, of the anti-incumbency on the ground. So I think this is going to be a very, very interesting and a very difficult election to predict, Anand. But clearly, the DMK, at least in the last couple of weeks, has started to feel the heat. Until about a month and a half ago, this was thought of to be a done deal. It was only the margin which was sort of being questioned. But I think what has happened, what we've seen on the ground in the last month, particularly last 2 to 3 weeks, has shown that this election is far from over. And, this may be a very, very difficult battle for the incumbent.
Yeah, bit difficult battle for the incumbent, but because it's a three-way fight now, will that also make it for the difficult for the challenger or the ADMK? That's another question.
It does make it difficult for the challenger, but the point is, whose vote is Vijay taking, which is $1 million question. How much of vote is he going to take, and whose vote is he going to take? So, in a sense, the TVK decides who is actually going to win this election. Ironically, they're not going to win it, but they're going to decide who's going to win it.
Whose votes they're going to steal or attack, or they're going to cannibalize. That's one big question, and he's largely kept his attack at the DMK. That's what he's done. And there's voter base. There is a lot of overlapping, if you were to do the Venn diagram, with the DMK's core voter base or support base that actually powered them to that kind of a victory, if you were to represent it on assembly constituencies in Lok Sabha 2024. It was far greater than 2021, and it surprised many. Chetan Bhagat is also with us this morning. Abhijit Iyer Mitra with us. Chetan Bhagat, Tamil Nadu, Chennai should bring you some fond memories.
Well, yes, I'm married into the state. But this election, like the gentleman just said, normally state elections are about local issues. I'm sure most of the issues here will be local. But what in this phase, what we will be interesting to see, we can always track the constituencies and data later, that all this stuff on delimitation, these parliament sessions, these prime minister's address to the nation, these were like kind of high visibility kind of events. And whether it's true or not, the perception has been formed that delimitation means more representation of the north, less of the south. It has been clarified by the government that that is not the case, but that is the perception right now. So I think we'll have to see whether that plays a role also. It's the nation of a state election. Maybe that will happen this time with this phase, if that's going on. So I don't know if that perception has been created successfully in Tamil Nadu, that listen, you have to make sure, like, you vote for your own regional party. So we'll see. At the same time, it's like someone said in the narrative earlier commentary that normally there's a switch. It's AIDMK's turn. They play musical chairs. But at the same time, is DMK seen as the more Tamil party, and AIDMK is seen as more aligned with BJP? That is I think the main issue right now.
But there is also the counter to this is that a lot of people will feel, okay, Udayanidhi Stalin has spoken. No, doesn't look like he has spoken. The only person he's spoken with this morning is with Purnima, and that too when he was walking in to cast his vote. The DMK looks confident, but they have been worried. They have attacked Vijay. They've tried to ensure that stymie his popularity, his wave, and it started with the first rally itself, Abhijit Iyer Mitra. But there is another way of looking at it. There are also those who believe that till the time the state and the center are not aligned, things will not happen for us. There is agrarian distress that we are given to understand in Tamil Nadu, which is seeped right across the length and breadth of Tamil Nadu, and 90 seats get influenced because of that. And a lot of water has flown under the bridge between Lok Sabha 2024 and Assembly 2026.
Look, I think what Sumant Raman said was absolutely correct. They're trying to nationalize the election precisely because they don't have a very good report card to show back home. So I went and voted. My constituency is Mylapore, and I went and voted
Vartakal.
morning. Thank you. And see, there are several things that give the DMK a bit of confidence. The first thing is, remember, the DMK is an ideological party. The ADMK is the personality-based party, and when you prop up a personality like Vijay, I suspect, I couldn't be sure, but I suspect he will take away more ADMK votes, or he will at least take away enough ADMK votes to cause damage to the ADMK as well. That is to say, the BJP ADMK alliance. Number one. Number two, it was very curious because Vijay had said in his speech that everybody needs to wear those beige trousers and white shirts and come out and vote early, and his vote bank is considered to be the youth. This morning at the polling booth, I rocked up there at 7:30 and I was out by about 8:30. There were no young people. The average voting age, not average, the minimum voting age of all the voters I saw, it was quite heavy voting, was around 40 plus. Where are the young people? Where are they dressing in? You don't have to dress in beige, but it's meant to be young people. Didn't see that. The third important thing out here was I don't know how much the rift between the DMK and the Congress is going to work out against them. Because this is something the Congress did not get the seats it wanted. It's been given 27 seats, out of which only 3 or 4 are the seats they asked for. They did not get the rest of the seats. The DMK, for their part, is very upset with them because a certain member of the party arranged for Rahul to speak to Vijay and organize some kind of tie-up between them. That has also played out. The issue we need to remember is this is now a 4-way contest. 2 big groups, the DMK and the ADMK, but there are 2 new groups. Vijay, we don't know whose vote he's going to take out, but there is also Seeman. Nobody's talking about Seeman because Seeman has actually, he's fine-tuned his campaign. He used to be very, pro-LTT. A lot of it used to be a separatist language. But he's actually become the most pro-Brahmin kind of a party. This time he's fielded about 6 Brahmin candidates and things like that. So there's clearly something happening out there. Is he trying to pull off what Mayawati did, Brahmin Dalit Alliance kind of thing? Impossible to say. We don't know how it's going to affect the vote. I would just be very careful about anybody's calculus of vote cutters.
You are saying that Seeman's Nam Tamil Kachi could have an impact. Sumant Raman, have you cast your ballot already?
Not yet. I will be going shortly after the show. But I think, Anand, see, the importance of NTK is going to be squeezed out this time. That is the general consensus. The reason is his vote bank overlaps hugely with Vijay's vote bank. Largely, youth and dare I say, somewhat ignorant, misguided youth, though I'm sure Mr. Seeman will not agree with that. Generally, once they reach a particular age of around 30, they will migrate away from the party because they will sort of wake up at that stage. But that vote largely is being cannibalized by Vijay. So the general consensus seems to be that Seeman's 8.2% that he got last time may drop to around 4% or so this time, with about 4 or 3.5-4% shifting to Vijay. The important part is we need to realize there are 4 different sources of votes for Vijay. One is, of course, NTK. The second is those who never voted in 21, those who were below the age of 18 in 2021. Now, there are about 14 lakh voters in that age group of 18 to 19, and there are another about 12 to 14 lakhs in the age group of 2021. These are people who've never voted. So that 29 lakh votes is not really going to take away from the votes of the AIADMK or the DMK, because these people have never voted before. Now we come to the vote between 22 and 30, which is where the core vote of Vijay is expected to be. That is about 1.07 crore of voters. If you remove this 15-20 lakh, it will be around 80-85 lakh. So how much of this vote is likely to go to Vijay? These are the people who actually voted ADMK or DMK or NTK in the previous election. So effectively, I can't see Vijay get a huge chunk of this vote.
You know what? That was not the time for social media, but when DMDK, Captain Vijaykanth, came to the fore in 2006, I remember there were 8-kilometer long, rallies and people came to the came to the streets like never before, and everybody thought that he's going to bring out a huge wave, but eventually it settled at about 8% vote share. So is that going to continue on 20 years later with someone like Vijay? That's another factor. Just one
quick point. Quick point. I think we have to make a very clear distinction of Vijay's vote, urban vote versus rural vote. Rural vote, he is not going to get a great deal. So that is what gives the AIADMK and the NDA a little bit of hope.
Okay, let's try. I'm going to check if I can get up and quickly walk up to the wall. And Chetan Bhagat, just bringing the urban voter and rural voter. See, in urban Tamil Nadu, and I'm just walking across, in urban Tamil Nadu, there is just this reminder, viewers, go ahead and vote. Just about 8.5 hours left before voting closes. But if you look at urban Tamil Nadu, and this is 2021, there is a 10% vote share difference between the DMK and the ADMK. And so there you go. So there is a 10% vote share difference between the DMK and the ADMK. So out of 69 seats, the DMK walked away with 51 of these seats. But if I were to look at the 2024 Lok Sabha in the urban vote, what happens is the DMK and the ADMK, there is again a 12% shift, and the DMK plus walked away with 65 of these votes. Others actually went 14-15%. This is the BJP vote, 15%. So this will now come back. This will come back to the ADMK, because the DMK, ADMK and the BJP have now combined. This then becomes 49%, 2% more than the DMK. Will that mean that the urban vote will now swing to the ADMK? Because there is anti-incumbency on ground, and we'll come to the rural numbers in a bit. Would you want to look at it like that, or would you want to look at it from the mood on ground and how perhaps gender votes, the women vote, because that's another trend we are seeing on ground? Chetan?
Yeah, I think, it's that old classic line that is maths more important or chemistry. I mean, the mathematics is, is correct. I mean, the mathematics may be correct. And if you look at the mathematics, then the Narendra Modi does not get more than 50% vote in this country, but he's very much firmly in power for the 3 terms. So, also the way the math finally works out, I don't think it's Annamalai tried really hard. You cannot deny that he tried really, really hard, and they reached a certain vote share. I think it was a very impressive vote share. It was not enough to win. It was not enough to even be a big part of the opposition. But I don't know whether those gains would be squandered now, because Annamalai was a brand in himself, and BJP has this style of, I think the preferred style is that there is no face, apart from a few places in UP and all, they do not like faces which are very prominent local stars, stuff like that. So I think, and there is Vijay now. So I don't think the numbers add up. I think maybe that BJP vote, is that BJP vote which is up for grabs, because the BJP strategy is now, let's nationalize this election. It's no longer about let's build the BJP's face, brand in Tamil Nadu. Maybe it doesn't come across like that this time. I don't know if others agree or not. They don't seem to be organically growing the party there. They're let's come up with an alliance, art of the deal, stuff like that. I think that will have an impact. It will not add up. I don't think so.
But here is the other thought. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to ask our panelists to just stay on with us, guests to stay on with us. We'll also shift focus to Bengal and get you the latest from there. But just about 8.5 hours left. Voters in Bengal and in Tamil Nadu, please go out and vote. Ensure that you cast your ballot, make your voice heard, and exercise your franchise, because that's also your duty. Not just your right, it's also your duty. Stay with us. We'll see you after the break.
Tensions are rising again in the Strait of Hormuz.
The NDA partners, which is AIADMK and the BJP-led alliance, were contesting separately. So if you just add the vote shares, you will see that almost on 13 to 15 Lok Sabha seats, the NDA alliance or the ADMK alliance candidates would have won if that alliance was in place. So that was a strategic blunder, I think, which both the parties realized, and that's why they have regrouped and formed this alliance, because if there was a three-way fight or rather a four-way fight with the entry of Vijay, then the DMK would have benefited immensely. So 2024 is perhaps not a benchmark because it is one Lok Sabha election wherein the people are looking at largely the BJP versus Congress as an option at the national level. 2021 is the correct base, and yes, as you mentioned, even in the rural areas, even in 2021, if you see, the support base of the ADMK or the NDA had declined, and this is what led to a massive mandate for the DMK. This time, there is a clear urban-rural divide in Tamil Nadu. If you go to Delta, there is clearly an agriculture crisis. Farmer associations have given a boycott call for the DMK, and because of the fact that the Tamil Nadu is still amongst the top 5 states in terms of farmer suicides. So there's a clear divide in this election this time. Urban, rural, young, old, male, female. So all these dynamics is making this election much more complex and very interesting to analyze.
Urban plus rural Tamil Nadu is about 160 seats, and of which 90 seats are in rural Tamil Nadu. If you believe that there are other factors where people will rise above their caste considerations and they will go, the other aspect is gender. The woman vote, how important is that going to be? Given the early turnout, is that an indicator towards perhaps a historic turnout or a record mandate, or are just people doing it before it becomes swelteringly hot down in Tamil Nadu? GVL, you've gone there. It's burning, actually. It's quite hot.
Yeah, Anand, I think the point Mr. Amitabh Tiwari makes is very valid. This has not been actually discussed during this campaign, but the farmer distress, the farmer anger is a very major issue, and this will certainly work for the NDA, not so much for, obviously the anger is against the DMK, the agricultural crisis, the fall in prices of agricultural commodities. State has not really come to the rescue of the farmers. And the sweltering heat, I have traveled across Tamil Nadu last 2-3 weeks, and Chennai is better. I think you feel much cooler in Chennai, but Madurai and places like Coimbatore, they are literally, I think it's difficult to campaign. I don't know how our leaders are campaigning. They're trying to avoid as much as possible the 3-4 hours in between noon and 3 p.m. Otherwise, it's impossible to campaign in this weather. In fact, that's a consideration that Election Commission must keep in mind in future, because states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra, in April, May, these are very hot months, and maybe in future a consideration must be made to avoid polling in such months. Now, coming to the issues, you see, but this is something that will not dissuade voters, because people value their vote immensely all over the country, but certainly more so in a state like Tamil Nadu, a very politically conscious state where political battle lines are very clearly drawn, and women vote has traditionally favored the AIDMK more, possibly largely an account of the Madam Jayalalitha factor. And in this election, the crime against women has become the single most important issue. And therefore, I certainly expect women to vote against the DMK in this election, and that could power the AD.
Back live here on our continuing coverage as Tamil Nadu goes to vote in all of the 234 seats, viewers, and Bengal in the first phase goes to the ballot in 152 seats. The BJP is defending 55 of its 77 seats in this phase, the 77 seats that it won back in 2021. There is, many allege, a shift in momentum. The voter is quiet, silent, and a silent voter is a far deadlier voter than a very vocal one. That's what many people believe. Pundits are not able to analyze which way is the wind blowing, in favor of the incumbent or in favor of the challenger. Both in Bengal and Tamil Nadu, there remains this suspense. But what's important is that there is a steady voter turnout, and that's been seen across Bengal and in Tamil Nadu, and voting largely has been peaceful. And let's hope that it's peaceful and more voters than ever before are able to step out and exercise their franchise and are motivated to do so. Big news coming in from Bengal. Shuvendu Adhikari has spoken with Pallavi Ghosh, and this is soon after casting his vote in Nandigram. Listen in.
2021 এ আপনি জায়ান্ট কিলার ছিলেন, you defeated Mamata Banerjee. Are you missing her in Nandigram this time around? You think she should have contested from here? Or she got
I accepted it, but she not come here. She is fighting in Bhavanipur. For that reason, I will go there.
You'll go there. Nana, tell me one thing.
29th, I will see Mamata Banerjee.
You're confident?
On the battlefield of Bhavanipur.
So you think Nandigram will be repeated in Bhavanipur? You'll be able to defeat her?
I should.
Suppose the BJP wins. Will you be the chief ministerial?
No, I am not passing any comment regarding this issue. BJP not declared any person as a chief minister before election. We are campaigning under the leadership of the Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi is the guarantor.
Why do you think the BJP?
We are working for change.
SIR, people are talking, you bohiragoto, you people will march khawa bondo hoye jabe. What do you want to say to the voters?
Because after long 15 years regime Mamata Banerjee, she did not implement her one single assurance given by her party manifesto.
Pallavi Ghosh is with us. Pallavi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Anand.
So you are still with CNN News 18?
Yes, Anand, go ahead. Yes, Anand, I'm right over here in Nandigram and I'm at one of the booths. And Nandigram, just very quickly to mention the genesis of it, why Nandigram will always be important for Trinamool Congress, because her march to Singur and Nandigram under the guise of fighting for the farmers, because she had accused the left government of taking away the land of the farmers, and that is when the Tata factory had shut down. Since then, it's come a long, long way. And I've been talking about this since morning. Remember how Rahul Gandhi was defeated in his bastion of Amethi? She was defeated in this bastion in 2021 by none other, who was once upon a time her closest aide, Shuvendu Adhikari. And Shuvendu Adhikari has now emerged as a giant killer, but also one of the main strategists. And he's not shied away from taking her on. I think he wanted another fight with her in Nandigram, but she's not come here. But he's definitely taken her on in Bhavanipur. And as he told me, that Bhavanipur maybe there'll be Khala Hobe, and she is going to be defeated there. So that is certainly going to become one of the biggest claimants should the BJP come to power over here. As expected, large number of women, just one or two voices, I'll not take too much of time.
No, you can take your time.
Didi ke miss karen ekhane, Didi ke lora uchit chilo. I'm asking her whether Didi should have contested. But wo ladya hi nahi yahan pe. तो लड़ना चाहिए था।
हाँ लड़ाई करे दीदी के मिस करे।
तो दीदी के मिस करे की लाभ तो लड़ছে না তো এখানে।
दीदी মনি আইছেনি কিন্তু টাকা পাঠাতেছে জনগণ।
তো আপনারা কি চান? টাকা উন্নয়ন?
আমরা দিদিমণিকে চাই।
আমি জানতে চাই না কে কাকে চান, আমি খালি এটা জানতে চাই যে আপনারা যখন ভোট দিতে যান আপনারা কি চাই? উন্নয়ন, চাকরি?
না দরকার নেই।
দরকার নেই। আপনার কি দরকার? আপনি বলুন আপনার কি দরকার?
আপনার দরকার আমাদের বাচ্চা কাচ্চা ভবিষ্যতে তাদের ভবিষ্যৎ যেন ভালো কাটে, আর ভবিষ্যতে মানুষ আমাদের রাজ্য থেকে মানুষ যেন অন্যের রাজ্যে না কাজ করতে যায়, আমাদের রাজ্যেই যেন কাজ পায়।
This is a very important point, Anand, and that has been the crux of the BJP's campaign. What she's saying is that I want my children to be here. They are not forced to leave the state and go to another state in search of a job. So we want chakri. Chakri is the big thing. Job is a big factor over here. Chakri,
okay.
Safety.
বাংলা বলো।
Safety. Okay, so jobs, safety, that is going to be a big, kind of benchmark as far as.
I'm going to ask you to move away from the voters a bit as they're going to cast their franchise. There is a sentiment that Didi should have continued to contest from Nandigram. There is a sentiment where they believe that we still believe Didi is the best for Bengal, and then there is a sentiment which is a real pain, where they say that we want to be in Bengal. We want to continue to ply our wares and want our the next generation not to move out of Bengal but to remain in Bengal. But I was a little worried this morning, Pallavi, I have to ask you this, that last evening, Trinamool Congress, there was a candidate who switched over to the BJP. And this morning, we saw your conversation with Shuvendu Adhikari being reported in some other platforms who are very actively tracking CNN News 18. So I was worried that had you also made the poll switch. So I had to ask you that.
No. Die-hard loyalist over here, Anand.
Okay, so that aside, in Nandigram also, is he not worried, Shuvendu Adhikari, that his right-hand man, who enabled that victory against Mamata Banerjee-government last time around, is the one who's contesting? He switched ranks.
I mean, I think that's the strategy he tried to develop, that to do to Shuvendu Adhikari what was done. But see, Shuvendu Adhikari and the Patra style of working are very, very different, which is why Shuvendu Adhikari is also not giving up. He's been parked here for the last 2 to 3 days, and why he understands that this is a possibility which cannot be ruled out. But he told me very confidently that I'm not going anywhere. This is going to be a cakewalk for me. Now, suppose for argument's sake, she manages to do it. Shuvendu Adhikari loses from over here. She would feel vindicated. But the question still remains is that why are you doing, say, a KL Sharma was done on Rahul Gandhi? He was sent off to fight against Smriti Irani Amethi, and Rahul Gandhi did not. Similarly, when she calls herself the Tigress, why did she herself not take the bait and contest from here? Nandigram, there was always a speculation that if not her, Abhishek Banerjee could have been fielded from here. That's certainly going to be one. Mixed voices over here. But for now, Nandigram seems to be swaying. I'm not going to hazard a guess because we should not be speculating. But it seems to be very much comfortable in the thoughts of Shuvendu Adhikari.
All right, shifting focus from Bengal to Tamil Nadu, Annamalai. He still has the kind of following and people wanting to speak with him wherever he goes. This time, not a candidate, but a star campaigner standing in queue there. Can we go full frame on those pictures? Standing in queue with the rest of the voters. People saying you can come and come ahead, but he's standing there behind them, shaking hands with everyone, with the various candidates, standing there, going to cast his vote. Many believe that he's the one who pushed up the fortunes of the BJP. Chetan Bhagat?
So I think getting to a double-digit vote share in Tamil Nadu is no joke for a party where all the major leaders are they don't speak the language. They're far away, and I think he did a good job, but maybe not fast enough. And I don't know what else happened, but some people say he's been sidelined, some people say he's not been sidelined. I think he's done an impressive job, to be honest. But I think the BJP has to decide: are they going to be a player on their own? Like in Maharashtra, I think they decided that Shiv Sena is no longer we want to be our own entity here. But of course, Tamil Nadu is a very different story. But just I want to make a comment on the previous Bengal thing also. She said that there is a big hunt for jobs and people should not leave the state. But Anand, tab to bahut acha ho gaya. If you are a unemployed youth, you get 3,000 rupees per month. But you live and then you get a couple that's 6,000 rupees a month, unemployed couple, right? Then get pregnant every year, you get 21,000 more.
Well,
so you can. You can. I mean, the solution is not a great life. You can 6,000 rupees plus some pregnancy. That's another 2,000. 8,000-9,000 rupees you live in your ancestral village in your home.
Yeah.
You can buy your data. You can buy some.
No, but then that is the classic model which continues to keep you in penury and continues to keep you dependent while never guaranteeing you any growth. So that was the situation in East Berlin. That was the situation in hardcore communist areas. And that kind of a model is never going to be a progressive one. That's what many would say.
But in every major state election, that has played a role, right? We can keep discussing issues and faces and personalities and Annamalai and Uddhav Thackeray and all these, Shinde Sena. But at the end of the day, that is a hammer. That is a political hammer because that lady said she doesn't want her son to leave or whatever. You're giving 6,000 rupees per couple. Pregnancy, 2,000, 2,500, 8,000.
We will talk about this at length, Chetan, because there's so many things happening. We'll open it up to the other panelists also. But the argument is that a state has to have a revenue model to be able to fund this. States that just go ahead and promise it without having a revenue model to be able to fund this is a problem. The other thing is you have to give this dole for them to start up, but after that give them opportunity to continue onward. Empowering women who have largely been made dependents in across families, across huge numbers, and empowering or making the youth lazy. There are two different points of view on this. So we'll open this up. I'm just going to go across to Harish, who's in Coimbatore at the same polling station or in that same area where Annamalai cast his vote. Did he speak with the media? Did he say anything, or has he come out yet, Harish?
Anand, in fact, he's standing in the queue at PSC College here in Coimbatore. That's where he has his vote this time around. He'll cast his vote in a short while from now and come out to speak to the media. But let's put out why this is important for the BJP and the AIDMK. Two crucial seats that are contesting here. The Coimbatore North seat where Vanati Srinivasan is contesting, sitting MLA from Coimbatore South. You also have Union Minister L. Murugan contesting from Avinashi. Both these seats, the BJP hoping that they can win if they really want to cross the double-digit figure here in Tamil Nadu. Not just that, in the last few days, we've seen the BJP and even the AIDMK, including EPS and others, focusing extensively on Western Tamil Nadu to consolidate further in this region. And that's why we've seen several of these leaders hitting ground. Although Vanati Srinivasan was unwell for a few days and was hospitalized, the other leaders from across the country were brought into Coimbatore North and other places to campaign. The BJP saying this time around they're hoping they can do much better than last time and improve their seat share and also vote share here in Western Tamil Nadu. The DMK very confident that their performance in Lok Sabha election and local municipal body polls is something that they can repeat this time around. In fact, they've said that the welfare schemes that were delivered here, that has been improved in the last few weeks and months to ensure that the beneficiaries get all these welfare schemes and they come out and vote for the DMK. So a crucial region for the AIDMK BJP alliance and the DMK as well. Perhaps a significant factor in who forms the next government on the 4th of May.
Absolutely. Harish, we'll swing back to you moment Annamalai comes out. Interestingly, Abhijita and Mitra, in Hindi they say, "Ek mayan mein do talware nahi ho sakti." You can't have two swords in the same hilt. And it's the same case with Annamalai and Edappadi Palaniswamy. They went at loggerheads. They have some of the same caste. They have exercise their strength and domain from the same region. And one of the conditions EPS had of coming back into the fold, many say, is that Annamalai should not be at the helm of the BJP. Annamalai believed the BJP can power on its own and it doesn't need the support of the ADMK, but the numbers show that had the two of them could combine forces, they would have done much better. So what happens next? That's a big question. Yeah.
I think it was a fight of vision. Annamalai's vision was that the BJP will never succeed in Tamil Nadu on its own till it stands on its own two legs. That, this constant alliance with either ADMK, DMK or whatever was not going to serve the party in the long run. And can I just say, in the last election, he actually proved the concept. The issue was because it was a near miss for the BJP at the national level. It was he was essentially made the scapegoat, and I won't say scapegoat, but he was punished for it because they prioritized short-term vote getting over long-term growth. Yeah. That is what happened in Tamil Nadu. Can I also point out that if they continue like this, they are always going to play second fiddle to the ADMK. Ultimately, the Annamalai strategy was the long-term sustainable strategy. Let us see what happens, because EPS might also not survive if he doesn't pull through in this particular election. Third point, if you notice Pondicherry, which is a fairly important bellwether, the voting the voter turnout was 91%, right? Mahe, which was the least voting, which is on the Kerala side, right. Something like 77% or something. Now, if it has reached 91%, the belief is, I'm not saying it is, but the belief is that it is mostly the Vijay Visalkunjus who have come out and voted out there.
Correct.
Now, how is that going to affect? I don't know. But if this was a personality-based election, the only way to counter a Vijay personality would have been to have a personality like Annamalai heading it up. So exactly what Chetan said, I don't think they've played to their best character.
Yeah, but you know what? Interestingly, I met Annamalai at our town hall, and Annamalai was quite effusive in his praise for Vijay. He didn't want to criticize Vijay openly, and he said that, see, anybody who's taking on and trying to break down this entire bastion of Dravidian politics, I'm with them. I don't have, and they both seem to admire each other. Vijay has, off the record, and sources tell us that he has come out and said that what Annamalai could achieve on ground in 2024 actually encouraged him to say that, listen, I can also take the plunge and I can if I put in the hard yards, we can mobilize. And there is an alternative option or a place for an alternative within the entire Tamil political ecosystem or the Tamil political spectrum. So interesting. I've just got news coming through, so giving that priority to our panelists, and then I'll come back to take this conversation. Vijay's party has actually written, the Tamilnaga Vetri Kazhagam has written a letter to the Election Commission. We've just got that letter. They have sought urgent transport support, extension of poll hours. That's what Vijay has written, and he's written to the Election Commission of India seeking urgent intervention over transport issues affecting voters during the ongoing elections in Tamil Nadu. This is what the letter says, and I'm reading it out aloud. We'll try and see if we can call it out here on our wall. He says, I am writing to you in a state of deep concern and indignation over complete transport paralysis. Thousands of voters are stranded at bus terminals in Chennai and similarly in other metro cities across Tamil Nadu with no buses or alternative public transport available to reach their designated polling booths. This is not a minor inconvenience. It seems an intentional attempt of misplanning by the State Transport Corporation and Administration, which is outright assault on the fundamental right to vote guaranteed under the Constitution of India. The scenes at Chennai's Coimbatore, Kilambakam and Madhavaram bus stands and equivalent terminals elsewhere are unacceptable on election day. Thousands of citizens have travelled from all over the world and from various states from within cities of Tamil Nadu or are attempting to travel to exercise their franchise have been left helpless due to heavy requisitioning of buses and vehicles for poll duty without parallel arrangements for ordinary voters. This systemic failure has the potential to effectively disenfranchise a large section of the electorate, striking at the very heart of free and fair elections that the Election Commission is constitutionally mandated to conduct under Article 324. We'll try and go across to Purnima for more on this. He has further written on the letter, viewers, he says, I therefore request a decisive action on 3 urgent fronts: direct and deploy emergency public transport services forthwith. Can we see it on the wall? I'll just walk up to the letter. And then he said, yeah, there you go. We'll try and open it up. And this is the letter that he has written. And he has said further, saying that forthwith the Election Commission must direct state transport authorities and district election officers in Chennai and all affected cities to immediately press additional government buses. So this is the letter. It's a 2-page letter that's been written to the Election Commission, and this is soon after he's cast his vote. We'll try and also get Purnima and Harish to check if there are complaints that are coming on ground. Harish is also with us. Harish, is this complaint there in Coimbatore also? I remember in 2024, Annamalai had made similar comments where he had said that the voters had been stuck in Chennai and they were not being allowed because buses were not plying. It's a similar comment that he is making, Vijay is making, and he is this time saying from Chennai again, buses are not plying from Coimbatore, etc.
In fact, Anand, this was an issue that we noticed late last night as well. Even here in Coimbatore, we saw a lot of people even late in the night, say at around 10:30, still waiting for buses, and the capacity was, in fact, the capacity wasn't sufficient. The government buses, the State Transport Corporation buses, many of them were already full by the time they reached some of the bus stops here in Coimbatore. Similar scenes in many places. We'll have to wait for an official word from the government on how many buses, extra buses that they had put. Remember, it's not just people from within Tamil Nadu who are going from one district to another. A lot of them are also coming in from from neighboring states and cities, for example, from Bengaluru. And what about their last mile connectivity? Was enough buses put in service for this? That's something that the state government, state machinery will now have to explain, considering that this time round, overall, there was a larger anticipation that the voter share or the voting percentage would go up and people would travel. In fact, by afternoon yesterday, we had seen visuals from different parts of Tamil Nadu and neighboring states as well. So there will be questions on whether enough buses were put in service late in the evening and early this morning.
Right, I'm going to check. We'll see if we can get Purnima also on the phone line. And this is the letter. This is dated today, 23rd. And this is what it is saying. Urgent intervention required. It is sent to the Chief Election Commissioner. And they are saying emergency public transport for thousands stranded at bus terminals in Chennai and other cities. Extend polling hours by 2 hours to safeguard democratic rights and ensure smooth queue management. Sumansi Raman, this is, if you remember correctly, my memory, I'm quite, I was on ground on that day when this happened, where they said that they are not allowing buses. This was in 2024. And again, the same thing being said now.
Yes. So I think that there is a problem, Anand, because there have been so many videos put out of by people in the Kilambakam bus terminus and Pundamalli and various other places where they are stuck. In fact, there was another video in Singanallur in Coimbatore. So there is a problem. Now, there are, whether it was planned properly and not executed, whether it was no planning, the DMK handles are already blaming the election commission, saying that don't blame the state government, you have to blame the election commission for this. Now, you know, who actually is responsible, we need to figure out. But the bottom line on this is many people are still struggling to reach their native places to cast their votes. As of this moment, there are still hundreds, maybe thousands of people who are stuck, who are, you know, long delayed, and some of the highways are also jammed. So some arrangement, the election commission needs to wake up. Something has to be done, whether you're going to extend it by an hour or 2 hours to enable people to go. See, the important thing is whatever decision you make, you need to make it now, because otherwise people are going to start turning back.
Right.
So people
yes.
In
fact,
going to vote.
Purnima is also joining us now. Purnima, there are repeated posts that are coming from voters and people from the various bus stands saying that there are no buses they want to reach. This is a similar situation which Annamalai had raised back in Lok Sabha 2024 with the Coimbatore election, saying that buses were not plying and voters could not come from Chennai to Coimbatore, and there was some blockade or stopping. And again, the same similar comment and complaint being raised by TVK this time.
Absolutely. In fact, TVK has written to the Election Commission saying that they should extend the timing of people allowed to vote by 2 hours, because many people are stranded. There are buses that are still not available for them to travel to vote. So that's TVK's complaint as well. DMK continues to maintain that it's the Election Commission that has to that in fact has to ensure that buses ply and voters are allowed to travel. So it has nothing to do with them, because right now it's the responsibility of the ECI, and that they should not be blamed for this is the statement that's come in from the DMK. We did speak to Mr. Saravanan a short while ago, who said that the Election Commission of India should monitor this, and it's not an administrative failure on behalf of the DMK. That's the word from DMK so far.
Yeah, we'll try and get some of those videos out also, Purnima, and maybe can get a quick check at the status at the local bus stands in Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore and Kavalakam, some of the others which have been mentioned also in some of the other top cities and nodal areas where they are saying buses are not available and they've all been pulled away for poll duty without planning for alternatives for people to be able to go and cast their franchise. And these thousands viewers could make or break somebody's election in some constituency or the other, and that could happen. We have a very, very short break. We'll stay with the coverage on the other side. Stay with us.
Tensions are rising again in the Strait of Hormuz.
The NDA partners, which is AIADMK and the BJP-led alliance, were contesting separately. So if you just add the vote shares, you will see that almost on 13 to 15 Lok Sabha seats, the NDA alliance or the ADMK alliance candidates would have won. if that alliance was in place. So that was a strategic blunder, I think, which both the parties realized, and that's why they have regrouped and formed this alliance. Because if there was a three-way fight, or rather a four-way fight with the entry of Vijay, then the
Right.
DMK would have benefited immensely. So 2024 is perhaps not a benchmark, because it is a Lok Sabha election wherein
Right.
the people are looking at largely the BJP versus Congress as an option at the national level. 2021 is the correct base, and yes, as you mentioned, even in the rural areas, even in 2021, if you see, the support base of the ADMK or the NDA had declined, and this is what led to a massive mandate for the DMK. This time, there is a clear urban-rural divide in Tamil Nadu. If you go to Delta, there is clearly an agriculture crisis. Farmer associations have given a boycott call for the DMK, and because of the fact that the Tamil Nadu is still amongst the top 5 states in terms of farmer suicides. So there's a clear divide in this election this time: urban, rural, young, old, male, female. So all these dynamics is making this election much more complex and very interesting to analyze.
Urban plus rural Tamil Nadu is about 160 seats, and of which 90 seats are in rural Tamil Nadu. If you believe that there are other factors where people will rise above their caste considerations, and they will go, the other aspect is gender. The woman vote, how important is that going to be? Given the early turnout, is that an indicator towards perhaps a historic turnout or a record mandate, or are just people doing it before it becomes swelteringly hot down in Tamil Nadu? GVL, you've gone there. It's burning, actually. It's quite hot.
Yeah, Anand, I think the point Mr. Amitabh Tiwari makes is very valid. This has not been actually discussed during this campaign, but the farmer distress, the farmer anger is a very major issue. And this will certainly work for the NDA, not so much for, obviously the anger is against the DMK, the agricultural crisis, the fall in prices of agricultural commodities. State has not really come to the rescue of the farmers. And the sweltering heat, I've traveled across Tamil Nadu last 2-3 weeks, and Chennai is better. I think you feel much cooler in Chennai, but Madurai and places like Coimbatore, they are literally, I think it's difficult to campaign. I don't know how our leaders are campaigning. They're trying to avoid as much as possible the 3-4 hours in between noon and 3 p.m. Otherwise, it's impossible to campaign in this weather. In fact, that's a consideration that Election Commission must keep in mind in future, because states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra, in April, May, these are very hot months, and maybe in future a consideration must be made to avoid polling in such months. Now, coming to the issues, you see, but this is something that will not dissuade voters, because people value their vote immensely all over the country, but certainly more so in a state like Tamil Nadu, a very politically conscious state where political battle lines are very clearly drawn, and women vote has traditionally favored the AIDMK more, possibly largely an account of the Madam Jayalalitha factor. And in this election, the crime against women has become the single most important issue. And therefore, I certainly expect women to vote against the DMK in this election, and that could power the ADMK alliances, the NDA's victory in Tamil Nadu.
True. Yes, let's ask the Bengalis also in the mix a little bit of their perception of Tamil Nadu before we talk Bengal. They've been patiently listening to what's happening south of the Vindhyas in a very, very critical state, and it's important at multiple levels. Even strategic level, national level discourse will be impacted. What happens in the opposition indie bloc based on the results in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they will have a bearing. And of course, how the Trinamool Congress performs in Bengal. But Subir Bhaumik, Vijay factor, do you believe you're impressed with his campaign? Do you feel you can make a dent?
Well, there is a Vijay factor, in Tamil Nadu and possibly in Bengal. We'll see something similar in the shape of a left factor, because the left is trying to, recover some of its ground. Its mobilization has been quite heavy. And if you look at it, the two major players as they are perceived in Bengal, the Trinamool Congress and the BJP, both have appealed to the left in roundabout ways. The Shamik Bhattacharjee, the BJP president here, has said that don't waste your vote, vote for us. You know, he has appealed to the left voters. And on the other hand, not Trinamool Congress directly, but people, groups who are seen close to them, you know, like Bangla Poko, they have actually gone to town and saying that BJP is an anti-Bengali party and, you know, you should not vote for BJP, vote for Trinamool. But if you don't vote for Trinamool, at least vote for the left. So, you know,
But we're not seeing
similar
this
thing.
kind of craze, Subir Bhaumik, that we are seeing for Vijay. Look at the crowd. Look at the people who have come there. He had to muscle his way through, and two of his close associates had to actually push and shove and muscle and protect him from going out. And now again he's jammed there. Cops are trying to give him protection. Media is trying to take pictures. But look at the people. Look at the fandom. Look at the people who are running around trying to say, we'd like to take a picture with you. Now, this cannot be orchestrated. This kind of a fervor for a leader. Are we seeing that in Bengal? Saira Shah Halim.
See, I tell you what, Mamata Banerjee does have a cult-like status here. However, this time around, it's a very bipolar election. I agree, the past 3 terms, it was built on the cult of Mamata Banerjee, the M factor, the minority vote, and things like that. However, this time, it's about governance. It's about corruption charges. It's about the SIR, the voters that have been deleted, unfortunately, from the electoral roll. And also the welfare schemes, because largely women across West Bengal do support Mamata Banerjee. As my previous panelist was commenting on West Bengal, left will play a very big factor because it is trying to come out of its shadows. It did hold a sway till 2011. However, things changed and it became a bipolar contest for the last couple of years. However, this time it's a very closely watched election. And the other parties that were considered irrelevant a couple of years ago are fighting back not only for the sustenance and the survival, but also for dominance. So we will see the third factor, which is the left, gaining a lot of seats, and that would determine the final outcome of the 2026 West Bengal elections.
Right.
So it's going to be a very interesting election. We are already seeing large-scale deployment across West Bengal, and there's certain areas, wards, booths that are super sensitive.
Right.
And it actually reflects the charged environment in which the voting is going to take place. We have seen how there are controversies regarding voter rolls. There have been huge debates about migration, identity, and we've seen trains. You know, people are already alleging that a lot of outsiders are coming into West Bengal in droves, in trains, and they're going to vote. There have been a new set of voters.
You know,
so we don't know who
you said a very interesting thing. A lot of outsiders are coming in droves. Are these outsiders who came from outside into Bengal and then went outside of Bengal in droves across all of Bharat who are coming back in? That's another question many people are asking. What was being facilitated over the last many years, even under the left rule, which is today hurting Bharat? Are these the people who are coming back because they believe SIR and their name should not be struck off the voter rolls, and then they will have to be part of it? So that's another conversation of who are these outsiders actually. But GVL, this kind of a frenzy, we'd seen this for DMDK, Captain Vijay Kant. We've seen this in the past for Rajnikant. We've seen this for Kamala Hassan. But they never got beyond 8 to 10% in terms of vote share. And some of them never even fought elections. They all backed out.
SIR பொறுத்தவரை தமிழகத்துல
multiple rounds.
சிறப்பாகத்தான் தேர்தல் ஆணையம் செயல்பட்டு இருக்காங்க. இன்கிரீஸ் போலிங் பர்சன்டேஜ் 7 மணிக்கு மேல நம்ம கணக்கு போட்டு தெரியுங்க. ஆனா இந்த தேர்தல் வழக்கமான தேர்தல்லாம் தாண்டி அடுத்த கட்டம் போயிருச்சு. நான் எந்த தேர்தல்லையுமே ஒரு வாக்காளருக்கு 1/2 கிராம் தங்க நாணயத்தை தைரியமா வீட்ல போய் கொடுக்கறத நான் பார்க்கல. கோயம்புத்தூர் அர்பன் ஏரியால
This election is different at another level. I've never seen any party distribute
தேர்தல் ஆணையத்துக்கே ஒரு பாடமாகத்தான் நான் பார்க்கிறேன்.
5,000 rupee cash or gold in terms of grams to voters. I've never seen this before.
பேங்க் அக்கவுண்ட்ஸ் மானிட்டர் பண்ணணும். லார்ஜ் ஸ்கேல் மூவ்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் கேஷ் செக் பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா எல்லா அரசியல்வாதிக்குமே தெரியுது போலிங் டேட் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு முன்னாடி எல்லாருமே செய்ய வேண்டிய வேலையை செஞ்சிடறாங்க, கடைசியில் போய் பதிக்க வேண்டியதை பதுக்கிடுறாங்க. அதனால் தேர்தல் ஆணையத்துக்கு இந்த முறை தமிழகத்தினுடைய தேர்தலை பார்க்கும்பொழுது ஒரு பெரும் பாடமாகத்தான் இது இருக்கும். இதிலிருந்து அவங்க கோர்ஸ் கரெக்ஷன் பண்ணணுங்கிறது ஒரு வாக்காளனாக என்னுடைய எதிர்பார்ப்பு.
This will be a learning lesson for the Election Commission, considering the amount of money given to voters to woo them. This morning itself, DMK is doing something called soft campaigning.
ஆனால் பல இடத்துல சாஃப்ட் கேம்பெயினிங் நடக்குது. இது அன்ஃபார்ச்சுனேட். தேர்தல் ஆணையம் வந்து இதை கண்டிப்பாக வன்மையாக சீரியஸாக எடுத்து ஆக்ஷன் எடுக்கணும். குறிப்பாக
Election Commission to take this into cognizance and take action, especially DMK, especially against DMK. வந்துட்டாரா கார் டிரைவர்?
வரும்பொழுது மக்கள் பல விஷயத்தை பார்ப்பாங்க. வேட்பாளரை, கட்சியை, இந்த கட்சிக்கான தன்மையை, வேட்பாளருக்கான தன்மையை, ஆட்சி அதிகாரத்துக்கு வருவதற்கான பக்குவம், ஆட்சி செய்வதற்கான பக்குவம் எல்லாம் பார்ப்பாங்க. அதனால் நான் உறுதியாக நம்புகின்றேன். நேற்று முன்தினம் வரை நான் என்ன பேசிக்கிட்டு இருந்தனோ கேம்பெயினிங் பீரியடில் அது உறுதியாக நடக்கும் என்று நம்புகிறேன். ஆனால் நான் போலீஸில் இருந்தனால எப்பவும் ப்ரௌன் பேண்ட்டு, ஒயிட் ஷர்ட்டு பாலிடிக்ஸ் வந்ததுக்கப்புறம், அதனால் ப்ரௌன் பேண்ட்டு ஒயிட்
ஷர்ட்
ஜெகன்மோகன் ரெட்டி அவங்க போடுறாங்க, இதே ஒரு ட்ரெஸ் கூட
So
போடுறாங்க.
white shirt and brown pant is something that I've always worn.
நான் என்னோட போலீஸ்ல இருந்து வெளிய வந்ததுக்காக அது எப்பவுமே கூட இருக்கும்.
Vijay is also wearing something similar.
பெரும்பாலும் 9 out of 10 times வந்து brown pant.
Because I'm from the police department, I've always worn this brown pant. This cannot be linked to something else.
நீங்க காப்பு கூட கேட்டா எப்படிங்க? எப்பவுமே போட்டிருக்கேன். பூசானி தயவு செஞ்சு இந்த பக்கம் அந்த பக்கம் சேர்த்திடாதீங்க. நான் ஒரே பக்கம் தான் இருக்கேன், சரியான பக்கம் தான் இருக்கேன், நியாயமான பக்கம் தான் இருக்கேன்.
Don't twist these statements. I've always worn this brown pant because I'm from the police department.
கண்டிப்பா இந்த முறை தேர்தல் ஆணையம் இன்னும் சிறப்பாக செய்திருக்க வேண்டும் என்பது என்னுடைய கருத்து இல்ல, மக்களுடைய கருத்து. கடைசி 2-3 நாட்கள் விரும்பத்தக்க
The Election Commission should have done a better job as far as Tamil Nadu elections are concerned, is my personal opinion.
எல்லாரும் ஓட்டு போறவங்கள ஓட்டு போடணும். மக்கள் இதெல்லாம் அக்கவுண்ட் பண்ணி
no point talking about it now. Everybody should go out and cast your votes, and people should take all these into consideration before casting votes.
ஏன்னா அவ்வளோ பணம் கொடுத்து ப்ராசஸ் வீட்டியர் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் அது நியாயமான தேர்தலாக இருக்குமா அப்படிங்கிற சந்தேகம் எனக்கு இருக்கு. ஆனால் தேர்தல் ஆணையம் ஏதோ ஒரு காரணத்திற்காக தமிழ்நாட்டில் எல்லா இடத்திலும் 236 தொகுதியில் நடத்துறாங்க.
ஒண்ணுதான் வாங்கினீங்களா சார்?
Purnima, if you're with us, that was Annamalai, quite a long bite he's given to reporters. Of course, there was a lot of talk around him missing in action. He's been campaigning, to give due credit to Annamalai, despite being sidelined. One could say very well, critics would observe this as him being sidelined. We're not too sure exactly the reason, but Annamalai wanted to contest a seat. He was not given a ticket. He still campaigned very well for the party, but at this point, it seems like he's appealing to voters to come out and vote, and as always expected, firing at the DMK and the other parties, saying that it's the NDA alliance that will come to power, assuring them. While Purnima is on the ground, Purnima, you see Annamalai's clout that he had once. After not contesting this time, it seems like there's a little bit of a shift in the mood and in his demeanor and body language.
Well, absolutely. In fact, the BJP cadre were also happy under Annamalai's leadership. Yes, he was sidelined. Initially, there were speculations that he may contest this time, but there were reports and sources close to Annamalai saying that they were not given the constituencies where the BJP was betting big on, and therefore he decided not to contest. But he was then a star campaigner. Remember, Piyush Goyal had in fact called him. He took a chopper from Pondicherry to meet Piyush Goyal. And then after that, he was made the star campaigner, and he's been campaigning aggressively. And this time also, once again, while coming to cast his vote, Annamalai once again lashing out at the DMK, says that huge amounts of cash for the first time in Tamil Nadu, gold at least half a gram of gold was given to each of the voters in Coimbatore. These are the allegations that Annamalai has in fact said while addressing the media. He said that it's the DMK that's trying to, in fact trying to distribute cash for the first time, huge amounts of cash, and the Election Commission could have stopped all this, is his personal opinion. However, he's confident that people are smart and people will vote wisely. So that's the statement from Annamalai as he's casting his vote.
Both the TVK and BJP have raised this transport issue, the issue of buses. Now, of course, this is something that ordinarily the Election Commission would be taking care of right now during election. So what's happening on ground? Why are both of these opposition parties worried about the bus situation in the state?
Well, the challenge every time in Tamil Nadu is the voter turnout, which is usually pretty less when it comes to Chennai and other places. So this time, a high voter turnout would mean that people want a change. So that's an indication of which way the electorate go. Therefore, when people are trying to apply via buses, what TVK and the BJP, including Annamalai, says is that not enough private buses are available and people are not able to find buses. The Election Commission of India should have coordinated this in a better way, because even in 2024 this happened. This time around they should have got the help of the transport department to plan buses for people. There are people who are travelling but may not be able to reach before 6, and therefore the voter turnout will be impacted, and which means that more people may not come out and vote, and this may impact the election results, which is why TVK, the AIADMK and the BJP are sharing videos of people waiting to travel to cast their votes, and how there's not much done to address this issue, and how this may have an impact on the election results is what the NDA and the TVK are saying, which is why they are requesting the Election Commission of India to increase the timing by over 2 hours, so people who are travelling from other places or who are travelling from Chennai to other places will be given time to go and cast their votes.
Right. We also have Harish with us. We understand the TVK, Harish, has sent out a formal letter requesting and appealing for voters to have at least 2 more hours window extended to come and cast their ballot because of logistics issue. But so far, the sentiment on the ground is there have been no first-time voters, hardly any youngsters who come out to cast their ballot. So that whole hype around Vijay, is it just all for the optics?
Well, that'll become clear on the 4th of May when the results come out. But clearly now the TVK claiming that there's a surge in the number of voters and not enough buses have been put in place to take these voters to their respective villages or hometowns. That's a concern that they have expressed. This is not the first time allegation of this nature has been made. Even in the last election, there were certain allegations made by the BJP that there were not enough buses provided, and that stalled people from going to their villages and going ahead and voting there, and that's a similar allegation now being made by the TVK as well. And we are here in Coimbatore. It's a crucial belt of the AIADMK and the BJP, and they have 2 crucial constituencies here. The Coimbatore North constituency that Vanati Srinivasan is contesting, and we have Mr. Annamalai here. So we are live. I'll just take you 2 questions. Mr. Annamalai who's just voted now come out from the polling booth here in Coimbatore. So we've seen allegations of large-scale cash transfer, gold.
All right, we're going to cut across. Stay with us, Harish. We're cutting across to West Bengal. There seems to be some violence that's been reported in Humayunpur. Let's cut to those images. You have it. Hectic development coming in pole-bound state of West Bengal. Shivani, unexpected lines. Hardly see an election in West Bengal without a bout of violence.
Yes, and this looks like there is enough police presence, security presence where this is happening. It looks like there are some, this could be happening, in the presence of some party workers as well. There seem to be clashing with the police there. But remember, on ground, there has been unprecedented preparations this time as far as violence in West Bengal is concerned. Presence of security forces, local police plus CAPF, CRPF, that should not be a concern. And certainly in those visuals, it is clear that even if there has been some attempt by some over some issue to kind of clash with the security forces, they are there in good numbers, and it's certainly not escalating beyond a point. There seems to be narebazi and all of that going on. some set of people are very upset with something. We don't quite know what the trigger issue is, but enough security personnel there trying to calm the public. This is the TMC Ejo party clash that has happened. Okay, so interesting. Murshidabad, important district. TMC versus the Ejo party, which is of course Humayun Kabir's new rebel party. After breaking away from the TMC, they have come face to face. They are fighting with each other. But the good thing to notice here is that actually things are not completely out of control. Enough personnel on the ground, even if some party workers seem to be very, very agitated. Kamalika is joining us on the show. Kamalika, tell us more of what has happened.
See, let me first tell you that what generally happens in Murshidabad. Murshidabad till now it is 10 o'clock as 10 o'clock is over. No major violence. What this is happening is Humayun went to a booth and there they were the supporters of Trinamool Congress in and around. While he was on his way to the booth, there were a lot of supporters of Trinamool and the workers. They protested and then there was a scuffle type situation which the police and the central forces were trying to control that situation. But generally what happens in Murshidabad, Murshidabad means bombs, Murshidabad means, dome calls means lashe. That's what we have grown up seeing. But this time right now definitely there is a tension in Nauda where the Humayun Kabir is there and he has been surrounded by the Trinamool supporters and workers who are protesting go back slogans, and at that the police is trying to handle that situation and the CAPF is also there. So situation has not gone out of control, but definitely the tension is there. But if we compare it with the Bengal election, we'll have to give it less number because Bengal election means violence. From the morning, yesterday night, 2 incidents happened, one in Domkol, where there was a clash between TMC and CPIM workers, and CPIM workers were very much tensed because they were not allowed to vote. Today in the morning, police went there, rescued them, and they were taken to the polling booth. That is what the police and the CAPF have done. On the other thing, in Nauda, in that similar area where the Humayun is a candidate, yesterday night bombs were hurled. Trinamool has stated that Trinamool's candidate, bombs were charged on Trinamool candidate, but we have spoken to the superintendent of police twice and he said on record that this is not a targeted attempt. There was bombs hurled, 2 people have been arrested in that and only 1 people was injured and who has been then left with a minor injury. So right
Kamalika,
now,
just interrupted you for a brief minute, just to let you know and also to our viewers that these are interesting visuals now playing out when it comes to battleground West Bengal, because you actually see the police force and all the security forces pushing back. I think these are the agitated TMC workers who have been charging at Humayun Kabir, who is now in conversation with the police there as well. He is himself angry, but he was being protested against. But we saw these visuals of the police and others pushing back that agitated crowd. Humayun Kabir is speaking. Let's try and listen in what he's saying.
আমি ক্যান্ডিডেট আমি আসতে পারি ও কিছু জুটেছে ওকে আগে হটান वो साला हबीब चोर है वो हबीब चोर है ये लोग की बॉम्बिंग किया है ये लोग
saying ye Habib Chor hai. Who is he pointing to? Humayun Kabir himself seems to be very, very upset given that some TMC workers have started, protesting his presence.
Yes, absolutely. This Habib is a local leader, a local TMC leader, and here we can see that they are saying that Humayun is Chor and Humayun is saying that they are Chor and Mastan. So you can understand that what type of scuffle is going on there, and they are absolutely, I mean, it's a scuffle, and Humayun saying that they are Chor and the TMC is saying he's Chor. So obviously there is, we have to know that, we know that Humayun was a part of Trinamool Congress and then he came out and this Babri Masjid thing happened and then he was expelled, then he came out, he formed the party. So right now there is, that tension is there in Nauda where the Trinamool workers are pushing, they are protesting and the police is trying to control the situation, they are trying to push the crowd and Humayun, as you know, that he has also said in the morning that he is going to, if something like this happens, then he is going to sit and go for dharna and all. So that is the reason Humayun is also showing that he also has a might out there. But this is a scuffle, a tension definitely there. But we'll have to say, comparison to what generally happens in Murshidabad, it is still better. What happens in Murshidabad and then Bengal, it is still better. It's a scuffle. The tension is there. The tension is there, but there is still they're trying to control it.
That, and what an embarrassment. Time and again, West Bengal usually makes headlines for poll day violence, and here you have it as on expected lines. Let me also bring in Pallavi Ghosh, who's also tracking West Bengal very closely. Murshidabad, an area that is sensitive. We're looking at violence that's erupted, and Humayun Kabir is himself on the ground, and he says, I'm going to sit in Dharna. So it seems like the TMC member also adding to this chaos.
Well, I mean, Murshidabad, Malda, Dinajpur were really under the watch of the Election Commission because that's where the strain of the SIR was felt the most, and that's where the feeling is that there would be deep-rooted polarization. It's a do-or-die battle for many of the stakeholders there, even ironically the Congress party. The Election Commission more or less has got very, very stringent eye on the ground today. I mean, I'm standing right over here in Nandigram, and you know, if you just get a quick sense, in the heat, the voters are made to stand there. That is because according to a new EC norms, they have to be 100 meters away from the polling booth. That is the reason why they've been kept away. And even when they come here, to cast their votes, this is where they have to hand over their cell phones. So no one is being allowed to take their mobile phones in. You can see a little bit of a crowd over there. So as of now, Nandigram certainly seems to be extremely peaceful. But yes, those pictures that we're seeing coming out of Murshidabad is just a reflection of how high-strung this election is and how it is a high-stake battle for all the stakeholders, particularly the Trinamool and the BJP.
At this point, West Bengal is looking at a huge influx of people coming in from all different parts of the country to cast their ballot. Are you seeing this as an unusual activity, or is this what West Bengal sees? Because we know scores of people from the state move out, hardly opportunities within the state, so they move out to work in different parts, and then election day they come back to cast their ballot. Is it higher than usual this time? Pallavi, if you can hear me.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't know it was question was for me. See, I mean, you know, many of us who stay in Delhi and NCR region, all of us have been talking about many of the house helps and the workers not being available for at least a month. And the reason, and then I saw it for myself, and I reported also from the Shialda railway station in Kolkata.
All right, stay with us, Pallavi. We have some big breaking news coming in. So we've got this breaking update coming in. US President Donald Trump has reposted a letter of sorts on his Truth Social, which is predominantly about the issue of citizenship in America. Let me just break down this full post for you. It's a pretty lengthy one. It's a long letter that he has posted on social media. He says, welcome to the savage nation. Today's brief abbreviated discussion will be about the arguments that I just listened to before the Supreme Court about birthright citizenship. He has gone on to talk about how there have been those who've been bringing the arguments in favor of flooding America with illegal aliens to change the demographics forever was a Chinese American who looks to me like the classic ACLU attorney. So he's gone on to, attack certain individuals. He's also gone on to say, interestingly here, about India, a baby here becomes an instant citizen, and then they bring the entire family in from China or India or some other hellhole on the planet. You don't have to go too far to see that. English is not spoken here anymore, that there's almost no loyalty to this country amongst the immigrant class today. So they're not like European Americans of today and their ancestors. So just focusing on this, our baby here becomes an instant citizen, and then they bring the entire family in from China or India or some other hellhole on the planet. Now, this is the kind of language that the American president has used for countries like China and India, and certainly he's known for something like this. But is this something that
a president should be speaking like about entire countries. I also have Anand Narasimhan joining us from our newsroom. Anand, you know, the kind of language here that Donald Trump has used, certainly many countries, including India, should be raising an objection.
Well, what he is saying is from an American point of view, and he is trying to argue, and it is not very unparliamentary language. We'll have to see how the Bharatiya government responds to this, because it's not just on paragraph 4 where he says the constitution was written, and paragraph 3 he is making the argument around birthright citizenship. He is perhaps very incensed with the argument that the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, and the attorney on behalf of the ACLU has made in front of the Supreme Court. He's quite incensed with the arguments, and that's where he is trying to say that earlier the early settlers in America made America their home. He's making that argument, but he's saying a baby here becomes an instant citizen, and then they bring the entire family in from China or India or some other hellhole on the planet. That's what he's saying. You don't have to go too far to see that. English is not spoken here anymore. Then there is almost no loyalty to this country amongst the immigrant class coming in today, which was not always the case. That's what he's saying. No, they are not like European Americans of today or their ancestors. The Irish integrated, the Italians integrated, the Polish integrated, Lithuanians, Romanians and Russians, they all integrated and became Americans in the melting pot. Today, the idea of melting pot is over. It is now just a cash-in pot. Then further down, he says, he comes out and says, they are also abusing it. I used to be a great supporter of Indians in India until I opened my eyes up to what is going on here. White men need not apply to jobs in the state of California, never mind in high-tech. I don't care what your qualifications are. You are not getting a job in high-tech in California. Going on to allege that the Indian Chinese entities or immigrants and Americans, Indo-Chinese Americans, have now taken control of all of California, and they are denying jobs to the white people. Now, very racist in his tone. He says we've become a savage nation. More importantly, he has bunched India and China as any other hellhole. Clearly, the language used by Donald Trump is not going to go down well with the Indian leadership, nor is it going to go down well with the Indian and Chinese community. But this rant that Trump has gone out also exposes him as a racist, as somebody who's got a mindset which does not want to include, although he's trying to make a point that the immigrants of today don't show their loyalty towards America despite being American citizens. They continue to behave loyalty to the country, nation of their roots. He may say what he wants, but he is also oftentimes using unparliamentary language, and this passage, the 4th paragraph, is where there will be huge objection that will be raised. You can make your point, but to be derogatory about people of a particular country or of origin and to also belittle them is not going to go down well. Let's not forget that the Indian American community in America contributes, is only 4 to 5% of the overall population, but it contributes nearly 20% to the GDP. So they are people who are contributing actively to America's growth, and he is kicking them right where it hurts. He is actually belittling that community, which is contributing positively to the American economy.
You know, Anand, I just want to highlight on our screen that exact portion that you were highlighting as well. He's talking about the system being rigged in favor of Chinese and Indians, particularly when it comes for high-tech jobs in states like California. But is that talent-based, or is there something else going on? But he seems to suggest that your chances, he's talking to the white men, quote-unquote, in America, your chances are nil. You have to be from India or China, because almost all the internal mechanisms are set up to run by Indians and Chinese. I know it for a fact, and you don't have to argue with it. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't argue with me. So basically, he's now accusing an entire countries or their populations, descendants, naturalized Americans or others who have come to America for opportunities, of running a system that only favors them. Now, this is a very serious charge that he's making. Yes, all of this is in context of the birthright citizenship case that is ongoing in America. But is it necessary to badmouth other countries? I want to just also highlight this is what he's saying, for example, unbelievable what's going on in my nation and my state, the corrupt state of California where fraud is so rampant and even Democrats are screaming about it. Even the Democrats are screaming, that's my piece on birthright citizenship here on the savage nation. So he's certainly trying to, whiff up some sentiments, particularly of white America, his own base, the white American man, Anand, in, kind of opening up an entire front against Indians and Chinese.
US, the United States of America, is exhorting via this post open, brazen, racist attacks against non-whites. That's what he is doing by bunching in Indians, Chinese, and also what he calls other hellholes. He's even mentioned some of the other nations and people of other origin. Is he trying to trigger massive racist attacks against these people? Does he even know the import of what he's come out and said? What diplomatic harakiri he's committing, and more importantly, they've just been able to trigger or been able to quiet down a huge amount of violence and unrest in certain parts of the country. He is now trying to instigate mass-scale riots and targeted attacks against Indians and Chinese citizens of America by the white supremacists. This is a very, very white supremacist tone that he has used. He may make an allegation that perhaps the loyalty should be more of those who make America their home. He can make that argument. But in terms of an argument on birthright citizenship, why rant against those who are positively contributing to the American economy? And have very quietly and followed the rule of law and never caused trouble. So that is something which is important. And interestingly, that last paragraph that we read is interesting. He says, I used to be a great supporter of Indians in India until I opened my eyes up to what's going on here. Let's see how the MEA responds to this.
Well, it certainly does reek of racism and hate, and this is Donald Trump on his usual rant, but this time it seems to be a lot more explosive. We will continue tracking that. Thanks very much, Anand. Shifting our focus back to the poll-bound state of West Bengal. Let me take our viewers through. We have the voter turnout so far. As of 9 a.m., we see West Bengal phase 1 voting at 18.76%. And while we're looking at a fairly impressive turnout, we're also seeing violence that pans out in Murshidabad, a place that is known to be sensitive. Murshidabad, that was on the close watch of the Election Commission and those security agencies who have deployed themselves in heavy numbers there, still finding it hard to maintain calm and peace. That's the visual there coming in from Murshidabad. Humayun Kabir of the TMC is also there. He's supposed to be sitting in Dharna now. They seem to be claiming that the TMC workers and leaders are not being, or rather supporters are not being allowed to move towards the polling booth with ease. So here a clash is broken out as expected. The forces, central forces, very much on tow to try and ensure this does not blow out. In fact, for now, West Bengal is seeing about 18.76% is the voter turnout.
So, what happened was that earlier there was a crude bomb hurled in Murshidabad, and we are being told that Humayun Kabir, whose party is giving a fight on the Muslim vote bank in these, heavy Muslim districts of Murshidabad to the TMC, no love lost between the two. He wanted to visit those violence-affected areas. Some people have been injured in that crude bomb attack. And he has been opposed. His presence has been opposed. I also have Tushar Gupta, journalist, and S. Muralidharan, political analyst with us. Tushar, I'll come to you with this one. We've seen obviously much higher scale violence break out in West Bengal during polls and post-poll. But in this case, I found it interesting that actually whoever was trying to rake up some trouble on ground in Murshidabad, there was enough and more security presence. So they could only possibly do only some sloganeering at this point. They were pushed back, which is a good, healthy sign, I think, because otherwise we've seen visuals where people are just running amok and there's not many people to stop them.
Spot on, Shivani, and this is an answer to all those people who were questioning just 2 days ago that why are there so many central forces in West Bengal. This is the very reason. Murshidabad is a TMC bastion. Last time, they won some seats over there with a margin of 90,000, 100,000 votes. And yes, SIR has updated the rolls there, but even then, it remains a TMC bastion. And you see that tension between Humayun Kabir, a TMC expel, and the TMC leaders. But again, what is important is that the people there, irrespective of the party they want to vote for, are able to vote and, transparently follow the process. That is what is required. And you want to ensure that what happens in Murshidabad also sets the right example in the rest of the state, that anyone tries to indulge in any messy business, they'll find out through the armed forces.
All right. Yeah. If you look at very closely the migrant population that's flocked back to the state of West Bengal, what signal does it send out, Tushar? We see a large population that's come back, and they've taken a couple of days to visit their hometown and cast their ballot. Who usually does this migrant population stand by?
Well, one sign is that if so many people are now going back to West Bengal to vote, clearly West Bengal has no industry, no job, no economic prospects to offer to these people. Now, between the TMC and the BJP, this migrant vote will be split. It's all about the priorities. Do they want to come back home permanently, find more opportunities there, like people have in Assam and in Odisha, or they just want to support the Mamata Banerjee regime, continue the status quo, see things as they are, that they are working outside the state while people in their house, say their wives or their daughters or sisters, are just getting rupees 1,500 per month. So it will be a divided
So the BJP
house.
has doubled it up. The BJP says we're going to give 3,000 rupees a month to women and unemployed youth.
And the BJP also promises to get in a lot of industry as they have in Assam and in Odisha. A decade ago, Assam and Odisha were lagging behind West Bengal in per capita income. Today, both these states are actually at par with West Bengal when it comes to per capita. You go down on the ground and a lot of people from West Bengal are actually going to a state like Odisha for jobs. A state with a lot of legacy problems, a state heavily tribal populated, a state with a lot of natural disasters. So people
Mamata Banerjee claims that this is deliberately cutting off from the central funds because we're an opposition rule state. This is the claim Mamata makes and convinces a vote bank.
Nabila, Tamil Nadu is an opposition rule state. It's a coastal state. Look at where Tamil Nadu is in the larger scheme of things. Karnataka is an opposition rule state. Telangana is an opposition rule state. Look at where these three states are in terms of the economic prowess.
All opposition rule states claim that they don't get the equal share of the pie when it comes to central funds.
And yet you do not see it becoming a polish in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, the economy is not in question. It's just about the anti-incumbency versus what the AIDMK has to offer. Look, let's be very clear.
We can't justify violence. Let's be clear on that. We can't justify violence. What I mean to say is that violence in West Bengal is a regular poll affair. And it's not something even central forces are able to stop or calm nerves. And that's what's the shocking part. Whatever be your grouse, West Bengal turns that into a violent act. And that's what's embarrassing for the Mamata Banerjee government. Pallavi, who's also very much tracking that. Pallavi, you're with us. A little more clarity on exactly what the violence, why the violence broke out. What really is the reason for Humayun Kabir to be there and sit in dharna? We see central forces trying to calm nerves, but they're failing to so far.
So Humayun Kabir, of course, has high stakes in Murshidabad because he's promised a revival of the Babri Masjid, and that is where he had floated his political party. And at one point of time, his alliance with Owaisi was very much because of this reason. So it's a high-stake election. What we are picking up by way of preliminary report is that it is believed to be largely a local issue, and the local leaders have got into a scuffle. But of course, Humayun Kabir feels that his voters are being intimidated. This violence is definitely being engineered to ensure that the electoral process does not be carrying out very peacefully. In other words, in other parts of Bengal, Nabila, there have been no such report of a similar violence. But Murshidabad, Malda, Dinajpur, which also has been the areas on the border, which also has seen substantial SIR exercise and also large number of illegal immigrants, as well as a deep polarization, there was always a concern that there would be some elements who are going to try and stoke this kind of a violence so as to stop the voters of a particular community from going out and voting, or it would lead to a polarization. The Election Commission has been very much hands-on on the ground. CCTVs, 100-meter kind of a limit which has been put up. But I'm just taking on that point. You've said that those who think that Bengal elections are not violent are absolutely wrong. We all have grown up over here in Bengal, whether it was the left times, whether it's been the TMC times. There's always been deep-rooted violence because elections are in such a way. It's a do-or-die affair over here, literally. And the same left cadre has switched over to TMC cadre. And on the ground, despite the restrictions, there'll always be some elements who, if they fear that they are not going to be getting the kind of votes they should be getting, and Murshidabad happens to be one of those areas, you will see these kind of violent incidents taking place on the ground.
All right. Right. Pallavi, we'll keep coming back to you for more. Interesting to see that, there's so much tension between TMC and Humayun Kabir's party. That also gives you a sense that maybe there is nervousness of what Humayun Kabir's impact on the Muslim vote bank can be, which is predominantly with the TMC. Rivalry is playing out. We'll wait and see what happens. But our firm focus on both these poll-bound states of Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. We'll slip into a very short break and be right back.
The NDA partners, which is AIADMK and the BJP-led alliance, were contesting separately. So if you just...
The voting percent, the voter turnout was 91%, right? Mahe, which was the least voting, which is on the Kerala side,
right.
Something like 77% or something. Now, if it has reached 91%, the belief is, I'm not saying it is, but the belief is that it is mostly the Vijay Visalkunjus who have come out and voted out there.
Correct.
Now, how is that going to affect? I don't know. But if this was a personality-based election, the only way to counter a Vijay personality would have been to have a personality like Annamalai heading it up. So exactly what Chetan said. I don't think they've played to their best character.
Yeah, but you know what? Interestingly, I met Annamalai at our town hall, and Annamalai was quite effusive in his praise for Vijay. He didn't want to criticize Vijay openly, and he said that, see, anybody who's taking on and trying to break down this entire bastion of Dravidian politics, I'm with them. I don't have, and they both seem to admire each other. Vijay has, off the record, and sources tell us that he has come out and said that what Annamalai could achieve on ground in 2024 actually encouraged him to say that, listen, I can also take the plunge and I can put in, if I put in the hard yards, we can mobilize. And there is an alternative option or a place for an alternative within the entire Tamil political ecosystem or the Tamil political spectrum. So interesting. There's just I've just got news coming through, so giving that priority to our panelists, and then I'll come back to take this conversation. Vijay's party has actually written, the Tamalaga Vetri Karagam has written a letter to the Election Commission. We've just got that letter. They have sought urgent transport support, extension of poll hours. That's what Vijay has written, and he's written to the Election Commission of India seeking urgent intervention over transport issues affecting voters during the ongoing elections in Tamil Nadu. This is what the letter says, and I'm reading it out aloud. We'll try and see if we can call it out here on our wall. He says, I am writing to you in a state of deep concern and indignation over complete transport paralysis. Thousands of voters are stranded at bus terminals in Chennai and similarly in other metro cities across Tamil Nadu with no buses or alternative public transport available to reach their designated polling booths. This is not a minor inconvenience. It seems an intentional attempt of misplanning by the State Transport Corporation and Administration, which is outright assault on the fundamental right to vote guaranteed under the Constitution of India. The scenes at Chennai's Coimbatore, Kilambakam and Madhavaram bus stands and equivalent terminals elsewhere are unacceptable on election day. Thousands of citizens have travelled from all over the world and from various states from within cities of Tamil Nadu or are attempting to travel to exercise their franchise have been left helpless due to...
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Our firm focus continues on these visuals coming in from Murshidabad in West Bengal. Humayun Kabir, who has of course formed his own party after ditching the TMC and has his own interest as far as the Muslim vote bank in West Bengal is concerned. His presence is being opposed there by TMC workers and local leaders on ground, and quite a bit of a scuffle breaking out, even though there are security forces in between the two. So things are not going out of hand. Tushar Gupta, S. Muralidharan continue to be with us even as we connect with our reporters. But Tushar, interesting, could we say that, the TMC is feeling nervous about the Humayun Kabir factor on ground?
Yes, because if the TMC is unable to sweep through Murshidabad and Malda, then they will also be wondering where they really stand in this election. Just like for the BJP, the North Bengal area is paramount. That is where they need to sweep. The TMC also, to up its game, need to sweep this area. And if Humayun Kabir starts playing a spoil spot, that is what will certainly worry them. Though I believe that the Muslim vote in the past few elections across several states, they vote together. They worked as lock, stock, barrel for the party they really want to support. Their voters not divided. They see through these divide and rule strategies. So I don't know how much of an impact it will have right now, because Humayun Kabir is also a new entrant. He promised a lot in the campaign, but it wasn't really gravitating for the voters really. So yes, TMC might be feeling desperate, but not only for the reason of Humayun Kabir, but also because they would want to start strong in these areas so they can capitalize upon it in the second phase and, the other seats.
You know what? From the looks of it, it seems like Humayun Kabir and his supporters are more nervous if anything. And like you rightly said, Tushar, a Muslim vote bank is consolidated. And it's been so since largely because of the BJP. The Muslim vote has managed to vote for one party, or deliberately done to keep the BJP out of power. That's their attempt.
Yes.
So here in West Bengal, I don't see it to be any different, and Humayun Kabir may not have much of an impact, but yet violence that pans out here is what's really tarnishing the image of polling day in the first phase itself. West Bengal does not. It never so has happened that West Bengal phase of polling goes smoothly without any chaos or scuffle, and this is to its reputation. But a quick look at Muralidharan, if I could bring you in on this. Two opposition states for the BJP, for the centre, I mean, two opposition states, West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, going into elections, both have cried foul over the SIR. And how much do you think of that factor playing out?
Nabil, I think it did play out in the West Bengal, and they were like, we even saw Mamata Banerjee going all around up to the Supreme Court. But I don't think that there's so much of complaint from the Tamil Nadu front. Initially there was some resistance, but
Tamil Nadu has complained of delimitation and SIR. They have complained of SIR, but they did a good job in alerting people to go ensure their names are on the rolls. They helped people a lot to ensure their names are on the list. So that way they've done a good job. But delimitation was one aspect that really resonated.
Delimitation was a non-issue. Actually, DMK was running out of issues because the last 2 weeks, they got solid drubbing from, ADMK. The earlier polls are showing something like 150 plus seats for Congress,
right.
for DMK and allies. It has come down to, almost like neck to neck. Right now, it's neck to neck.
Yeah,
So
Tamil Nadu is
the
seeing a
reason
very close fight. West Bengal, we're not too sure, can't really say. The BJP has a very solid chance, and this possibly is their best bet.
Yes, even as both of these very important battleground states are voting today, phase one of polling in West Bengal, we are getting a big exclusive with the BJP chief speaking to Network 18, his first interview this poll season. Nitin Nabin, exclusively and unfiltered, and that full interview is coming up for you at 11 a.m. So let's be on standby for that. Nitin Nabin speaking to Network 18 and Rahul Joshi for the very first time this poll season. We've got some snippets also coming up for you as we build up to that full play out at 11 a.m. Listen in.
पांच राज्यों के चुनाव चल रहे हैं, 4 राज्य और पुडुचेरी। मैंने कहा कि थोड़ा सा हम लोग कलकत्ते में बैठे हैं तो इस पर चर्चा की जाए। कैसे देख रहे हैं माहौल को? क्या आपका आकलन है, क्या होगा इन 5 राज्यों में? तो टीएमसी का मानना यह है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी सिर्फ 150-160 सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ रही है, क्योंकि बाकी 90 से ज्यादा सीटों पर माइनॉरिटी जो है तमिलनाडु की बात करते हैं। तमिलनाडु में आपको क्या उम्मीद है अपनी एनडीए से?
That exclusive conversation with Network 18 chief Rahul Joshi coming up at 11 a.m. Nitin Nabin, the new president of BJP, of course, a lot on his shoulders as well, and he was, he was picked for this job. When not many expected his name to come up, there was a long suspense for a very long time of who will lead JP Nadda as the next BJP chief. Nitin Nabin it was, and of course he's been credited as someone who works behind the scenes, who may not be in front, but he's also been credited with working hard ahead of these elections. He talked about how Tamil Nadu, Bengal, and Kerala, he talked about all of these states in one of his addresses, continue to be the big focus for BJP, and their aim is to form their governments next in these three final frontier kind of states for the BJP. So that full interview is coming up at 11 a.m. with Rahul Joshi, first interview with the BJP chief in this poll season.
Nitin Nabin, who's come right in time, a lot of responsibility on him, Shivani. If you see the 2029 Lok Sabha polls is where Nitin Nabin's role will really play out. His ability to ensure the party is taken to victory for the fourth time will really show his prowess. And at this point, the BJP believes that he is young, he's energetic, he seems to be a man with a vision, and they brought him on for this very big role. As you know, the BJP picks surprises, and Nitin Nabin was really a big surprise that the BJP threw up to ensure he leads the party. And he's the man of the moment at a time when multiple states are going into elections. Nitin Nabin speaks to CNN News 18's Rahul Joshi. He's due to be, we're waiting to hear him, what he has to say about prospects of the BJP in these poll-bound states. And it's a difficult one, right? You speak of West Bengal, where the BJP hasn't managed to breach. You speak of Tamil Nadu, where they haven't managed to breach. Kerala, that's also already gone into polls, also a first time that BJP is looking at to make bigger inroads. So three difficult states that's gone into gone into polls this time. Nitin Nabin to shed light on how far the BJP will work its magic. So we've got to wait and watch.
We've got to wait and watch. Stay with us. Also, our rolling continuous coverage on the elections on polling day continues. We'll get you more updates from on ground as well. We've given you a snippet. We've asked him. Rahul Joshi has posed questions about both West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. So wait to hear what the BJP president says after a very short break.
Elections are won on strategy, but defined by details. I, Monojit Mondol, will connect the dots and decode the bigger picture for you.
Third point, if you notice Pondicherry, which is a fairly important bellwether, the voting percent, the voter turnout was 91%, right? Mahe, which was the least voting, which is on the Kerala side,
right.
Something like 77% or something. Now, if it has reached 91%, the belief is, I'm not saying it is, but the belief is that it is mostly the Vijay Visalkunjus who have come out and voted out there.
Correct.
Now, how is that going to affect? I don't know. But if this was a personality-based election, the only way counter a Vijay personality would have been to have a personality like Annamalai heading it up. So exactly what Chetan said, I don't think they've played to their best character.
Yeah, but you know what, interestingly, I met Annamalai at our town hall, and Annamalai was quite effusive in his praise for Vijay. He didn't want to criticize Vijay openly, and he said that, see, anybody who's taking on and trying to break down this entire bastion of Dravidian politics, I'm with them, I don't have, and they both seem to admire each other. Vijay has, off the record, and sources tell us that he has come out and said that what Annamalai could achieve on ground, in 2024 actually encouraged him to say that, listen, I can also take the plunge and I can put in, if I put in the hard yards, we can mobilize. And there is an alternative option or a place for an alternative within the entire Tamil political ecosystem or the Tamil political spectrum. So interesting. There's just I've just got news coming through, so giving that priority to our panelists, and then I'll come back to take this conversation. Vijay's party has actually written, the Tamalaga Vetri Karagam has written a letter to the Election Commission. We've just got that letter. They have sought urgent transport support, extension of poll hours. That's what Vijay has written, and he's written to the Election Commission of India seeking urgent intervention over transport issues affecting voters during the ongoing elections in Tamil Nadu. This is what the letter says, and I'm reading it out aloud. We'll try and see if we can call it out here on our wall. He says, I am writing to you in a
नितिन नवीन जी, आपको न्यूज 18 को ये इंटरव्यू देने का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं भी आपको पहली बार इंटरव्यू कर रहा हूं, तो शुरुआत करते हैं कुछ। आपको देखकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अध्यक्ष नहीं, आप तो कोई युवा मोर्चा के और कोई युवा पार्टी के अध्यक्ष लगते हैं। तो आप जो है 45 साल की उम्र में भारतीय जनता पार्टी जैसे उसके अध्यक्ष बने, कैसे आपको पता चला, किस तरह की फीलिंग्स पहले आपको आई, किसने फोन करके बताया, कुछ इस बारे में बताएं।
देखिए, हम लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी में वर्किंग करते हुए लंबा समय बीता, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के निर्णय की अपनी एक प्रक्रिया है। संगठन के कई कामों में हम लोग को मौका मिला, उस कारण से संगठन के कामों में पिछले 10-15 वर्षों से हम लोग वर्किंग में हैं। जहां तक जानकारी की बात है, ऑब्वियस बात है, संगठन और सरकार में हमारे नेता माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी का ही पहला संवाद रहता है। और जब आया तो मैं क्षेत्र का एक बड़ा कार्यक्रम हम कर रहे थे, उस कार्यक्रम के दौरान ही वो सूचना मिली। तो एक बार खुद में पार्टी इतने बड़े निर्णय ले ली है, तो अपने आप में थोड़ा सा चिंतन भी, थोड़ा बड़े निर्णय के बाद एक मन में चुनौती आती है, ये निर्णय, इतने बड़े निर्णय के साथ हम कितना अपने आप को आगे ले जा पाएंगे। तो एक कई तरह के सवाल जब आदमी को इतने बड़े निर्णय से अवगत कराया जाता है, तो जहां एक और पार्टी के भरोसा को खुशी होती है, वहीं उसकी चुनौतियां भी सामने में नजर आती है। तो एक बड़ा ही मिश्रण कह सकते हैं कि उस समय का पहला जो रिएक्शन होता है बड़ा ही मिश्रित होता है। और जब मालूम हुआ तो मैं इतने बड़े टीम के साथ वहां पर था कि सबसे पहले तो उन लोग के साथ बातचीत करके पहले वहां से निकलना था। तो मुझे लगता है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी का संवाद और माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी का संवाद कहीं न कहीं खुशी और भरोसे को देखते हुए अच्छा लगा, लेकिन सेम टाइम में चुनौती भी सामने नजर आई।
ये एक तरीके का बड़ा जनरेशनल शिफ्ट है भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए। आप काम करते हैं अपने से सीनियर लीडर से, मिनिस्टर्स हैं जो आपसे सीनियर हैं, तो क्या टिप्स दिया आपको प्रधानमंत्री और अमित भाई ने?
देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो पहला ट्वीट है वही उनका असेसमेंट है मेरे बारे में
जी,
और मैं मानता हूं कि वही मेरे लिए उनका रोड मैप या गाइडलाइन है भविष्य के आगे चलने के लिए। जब एक प्रधानमंत्री जी से मिलना हुआ, ऑब्वियसली उन्होंने सबसे पहले तो कहा कि स्वस्थ रहना जरूरी है। जिस प्रकार से प्रधानमंत्री जी खुद फिट रहते हैं, तो वो हमेशा प्रयास करते हैं कि उनकी टीम भी उस प्रकार से फिट होकर काम करे, क्योंकि काम करने के लिए जब बॉडी फिट होता है तो माइंड फिट रहता है
जी।
तो ये अपने आप में प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो पहला टिप्स रहता है। दूसरी जो चीजें रहती है कि एक गाइडलाइन, एक सीनियरिटी के नाते, एक अभिभावक के नाते, चूंकि एक बड़े सवर में आप आए हैं, तो उसकी कठिनाइयां, उसकी चुनौतियां, उसके जजमेंट के तरीके, कई ऐसी चीजें थी। और मुझे तो लगता है कि कोई एक दिन नहीं, हर दिन प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो गाइडलाइन है वो हम लोग को काम आता है।
आपको स्टैब्लिश करने के लिए उन्होंने भी आपको बॉस कहा, अपना बॉस बताया।
देखिए, यही भारतीय जनता पार्टी के संगठन की खूबसूरती है कि अध्यक्ष का पद सर्वोच्च होता है और उस परिपाटी से सभी कार्यकर्ता, चाहे वो प्रधानमंत्री भी क्यों न हो, अपने आप को उस अध्यक्ष के पद की गरिमा से जोड़ के देखते हैं।
नितिन जी, बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस आए हैं, आएंगे, आते रहेंगे। आपने चुनौतियों की बात की, तो इस वक्त एक सबसे बड़ी चुनौती आई थी, जो है आप विमेन्स रिजर्वेशन बिल लेकर आए, पारित कराना चाहते थे, पर वो पारित न हो सका।
देखिए, पारित न हो पाने का कसक हम लोग के लिए इसलिए है कि हम लोग आधी आबादी को, देश की माता बहनों को, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के कार्यकाल को देखिए तो उन्होंने सुरक्षा, सम्मान, स्वाभिमान और अब हिस्सेदारी की बात की। तो इस 3 बड़े स्फेयर के बाद एक बड़ा मौका था उनको हिस्सेदारी देने का। लेकिन हम को दुख इस बात का है कि हम इस देश की माता बहनों को उसकी हिस्सेदारी समय पर नहीं दिला पाए। वो तो तय है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी जब जब संकल्प किया है, और मोदी जी की यूएसपी भी रही है कि उन्होंने जो किसी चीज को संकल्प किया है तो उसको पूरा किया है। हम सबकी इच्छा थी कि 2029 के चुनाव के पहले हम महिलाओं को एक बड़ा हिस्सेदारी में जोड़ पाए, और कहीं ना कहीं आज आधी आबादी को अगर हम इतने बड़े लोकसभा में इतने संख्या में, विधानसभा में इतनी संख्या में लाते हैं, तो एक सामान्य महिला का लीडरशिप इतनी बड़ी संख्या में जब निकल के आएगा तो निश्चित रूप से निर्णय की भूमिका में महिलाओं की प्राथमिकता नजर आएगी। लेकिन विपक्ष का दुर्भाग्य है कि उन्होंने अच्छी चीजों के लिए भी कभी सकारात्मक सोच नहीं। मोदी का विरोध करते करते वो लोग यहां तक पहुंच गए कि देश की आधी आबादी माता बहनों के विरोध में खड़े हो गए।
तो ये टाइमिंग के बारे में कुछ बताएं, इस वक्त लायक क्यों? इलेक्शन के बाद भी आ सकता था।
ये ऑब्वियस बात है कि हम लोगों ने इसके लिए 2-3 महीने से तैयारी की है, कोई आज की तैयारी करके नहीं लाया है। और दूसरी बात है कि ये तो स्पष्ट था जब हमारा बिल पास हुआ था उसी समय कि हम 2026 में ही इसके फ्रीजिंग कैपिंग को हटाने के बाद हम लोग करेंगे, और आज वो समय आ गया था। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि परिस्थितियां ऐसे कई बार चुनाव आते हैं, कई राज्यों के चुनाव होंगे और उस समय पार्लियामेंट भी चलेगा। यूपी का चुनाव होता है उस समय, तो क्या पार्लियामेंट के डिसीजंस नहीं होंगे क्या? ये जो लोग हैं, कितने बार चुनाव प्रचार में राहुल गांधी जी और प्रियंका जी असम गई, पुडुचेरी गई, कितना गई? उससे ज्यादा तो कार्यक्रम मेरे प्रधानमंत्री जी, मेरे गृह मंत्री जी कर रहे हैं। तो अगर उनकी व्यस्तता नजर आती तब ना समझ में आता। वो तो केवल इसको टालना चाहते थे और विषय पे, एजेंडे पे भी डिबेट नहीं कर पा रहे थे।
तो आपने तैयारी की बात की, तो ऑपोजिशन का कहना है कि कोई सलाह मशवरा नहीं किया, कोई उनसे विचार विमर्श नहीं किया, और इसको जो है सीधा ले आके उसको जल्दीबाजी में निकालने का वो।
विपक्ष अपने अंतरात्मा से पूछे कि उनसे बातचीत हुई कि नहीं हुई, ये उनको बताना चाहिए। लेकिन मेरा ये मानना है, एक सरकार होने के नाते हमारी जो भूमिका है कि हम सबको लेके चले। हम हमेशा मानते हैं कि विपक्ष भी सरकार का अंग है और उसके साथ समन्वय करके काम करना निश्चित रूप से हमारी प्राथमिकता रहती है।
तो पहले बातचीत की थी आपने?
निश्चित रूप से उसके कई दौर के बातचीत जो होते हैं उसमें
सारी पार्टियों से, कांग्रेस से, समाजवादी से।
देखिए, जो प्रक्रियात्मक बातचीत होती है निश्चित रूप से प्रयास किया गया। अगर उनके मन में था कि इसकी क्रेडिट की जाए तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हाउस के फोरम से कहा कि हम आपके नाम का एडवर्टीजमेंट भी दे देंगे कि आपके ही सहयोग से हुआ। लेकिन उनको नाम से ज्यादा मोदी के विरोध में ध्यान रहता है।
तो अपोजिशन का कहना यह है कि ये अगर आपको रिजर्वेशन देना है 33%, तो ये दे दीजिए, इसमें क्या दिक्कत है? जितनी सीट अभी है पार्लियामेंट में उसमें दे दीजिए, इसको रोक। इसमें सीट बढ़ाने और डिलिमिटेशन की बात कहां से आ गई?
डिलिमिटेशन को लेके पहले आप है कि डिलिमिटेशन पर गृह मंत्री जी ने हाउस के फ्लोर पे कहा। ये डिलिमिटेशन किसका बनाया हुआ है? ये उन्हीं का बनाया हुआ चीज है। क्या उनको अपने बनाए हुए कानून पे भरोसा नहीं है? क्या उस कानून के, जब उन्होंने अपने समय में किया डिलिमिटेशन, क्या वो कानून के उन मापदंडों में कोई लूप होल था क्या? अगर लूप होल था तो आपने उस समय क्यों नहीं चेक किया? और आज हम कह रहे हैं कि आप ही के बनाए हुए डिलिमिटेशन से हम आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, और आज बढ़ते तो हमारी आधी आबादी को अधिक संख्या में हम हिस्सेदारी दे रहे थे। आज अगर हो जाता तो देश भर के सभी राज्यों में, और 800 से अधिक में, वो तो 33% उसकी कितनी संख्या में महिलाएं आती। मेरा ये कहना है कि वो जो खेल खेल रहे हैं कि ऑब्वियसली ये अनुपात जब होता तो किसका परेशानी होती। आज हमने साउथ और नॉर्थ की जो खेल उन्होंने खेला उसको भी प्रधानमंत्री और गृह मंत्री जी ने जितने बढ़िया से हाउस फोरम पे कहा कि आप आइए ना, हम अमेंडमेंट करके आपको और संतुष्ट करने को तैयार है। लेकिन उनका विषय संतुष्टि नहीं है, उनका नकारात्मक सोच है, और जिस सोच के साथ उन्होंने इतनी बड़ी संख्या में महिला हिस्सेदारी को रोका।
उनका कहना यह है कि ऑपोजिशन और राहुल गांधी बार बार ये कह रहे हैं कि ये डिलिमिटेशन जो है ये आप इलेक्शन कमीशन और एक रिटायर्ड सुप्रीम कोर्ट जज की कमेटी से जो आप लोग करेंगे, और ये जेरिमेंडरिंग जो है ये कहीं ना कहीं वो शक की निगाह से देखते हैं कि कुछ सरकार ऐसा करेगी, इस तरीके से कंस्टिट्यूएंसीज को बांट लेगी?
मेरा ये कहना है कि ये डिलिमिटेशन ने बनाया, हमने तो नहीं बनाया, आप ही के समय बना। और इस कानून के दायरे में जो चीजें आती हैं इसके पूरे फॉर्मूला है, कोई इसमें चेंज नहीं कर सकता उसके। फिर वो, और ये पूरे हाउस में आने वाला था, इसमें ऑल पार्टी की कमेटी के मेंबर होते हैं, हर संसदीय क्षेत्र में कमेटी होती है। ये कहीं कोई ऐसा फॉर्मूला नहीं है जो पहले नहीं बना है। विषय अगर डिलिमिटेशन है तो मैं तो पूछता हूं कि ये आप ही के बनाए हुए कानून पे आपको क्यों सवाल है?
तो अब आगे क्या होगा?
आगे हम लोग बढ़ेंगे, निश्चित रूप से समय आने दीजिए। एक बार सेंसस होगा तो फिर आगे भी हम लोग बढ़ेंगे।
तो इसके बाद सेंसस होगा, उसके बाद जो है डिलिमिटेशन होगा, इस पर आपकी क्या प्रक्रिया रहेगी?
ऑब्वियसली जो प्रक्रिया के साथ अब जाना पड़ेगा। हम लोग सोचे थे कि ये समय रहते होगा तो हम समय डिलिमिटेशन भी करेंगे, सबको एक प्रॉपर प्रोपोर्शनेट में जो हक मिलना चाहिए वो भी देंगे, और कहीं ना कहीं महिलाओं का जो अधिकार है वो समय पे मिल जाएगा।
जो 50% ज्यादा सीट देने की बात थी ऐसे राज्यों को जहां पर आबादी कम बढ़ी है, तो उनको ये नहीं मिल पाएगा?
नहीं, अभी ऐसा कुछ हम नहीं कर सकते। तो सेंसस होने के बाद जो उसके पॉपुलेशन के साइज आते हैं और उसके बाद उस अनुपात पर निश्चित। लेकिन ये परिस्थिति किसने पैदा किया? ये परिस्थिति जिस बात की आप चर्चा करी, किसने पैदा किया? आज जब गृह मंत्री जी ने सदन के फोरम में कहा कि हम अभी तय कर देते हैं, तो ये तो उनको स्वागत करना चाहिए था। मैं मानता हूं कि साउथ के लोगों का हक की मारी भी किसी ने किया तो राहुल गांधी और उनके कुनबा डीएमके लोगों ने मिल के किया। आज साउथ को परेशानी में डालने का काम किसी ने किया है तो वही राहुल गांधी ने किया है।
5 राज्यों के चुनाव चल रहे हैं, 4 राज्य और पुडुचेरी। मैंने कहा कि थोड़ा सा हम लोग कलकत्ते में बैठे हैं तो इस पर चर्चा की जाए। कैसे देख रहे हैं माहौल को? क्या आपका आकलन है, क्या होगा इन 5 राज्यों में?
देखिए, 5 राज्यों की स्थिति अलग अलग है, लेकिन मैं मानता हूं कि इस बार भाजपा के लिए और बेहतर सिचुएशंस है सभी राज्यों में। असम, पुडुचेरी में निश्चित रूप से हमारी सरकारें रिपीट करेंगी, कहीं इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है। बाकी 3 राज्यों में पश्चिम बंगाल आपको आश्चर्यजनक रिजल्ट के साथ सामने आ रहा है, और यहां पर मैं मानता हूं कि सारे जो भी टीएमसी और कांग्रेस के जो खेल थे उस सब से बाहर आकर जनता इस बार भाजपा की सरकार बनाने जा रही है।
तो असम पुडुचेरी में सरकार बनेगी और आप कह रहे हैं कि बंगाल में भी सरकार बनेगी?
100% अब जो सिचुएशन बन रहे हैं और जो जनता का मूड दिख रहा है, पश्चिम बंगाल में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने जा रही है।
तो पिछली बार भी माहौल 2021 में भी था कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने वाली है। इस बार 2021 से क्या अलग है? क्या भरोसा दे रहा है आपको कि इस बार आप सरकार बना लेंगे?
देखिए, पिछले बार भी जितने गुणात्मक तरीके से हम आगे बढ़े, 3 से 77 सीट पर आए, अगर उसी स्पीड को अगर हम मेंटेन करें तो इस बार तो 100% हम अपनी सरकार बना रहे हैं। जहां तक अनुभव की बात आप कह सकते हैं, जनता कार्यकर्ता का एक जो माइंडसेट दिखता है और आम आदमी का जो रिस्पांस दिख रहा है कार्यक्रमों में, रोड शो में, गति बैठकों में, कहीं ना कहीं वो स्पष्ट है कि इस बार टीएमसी के जो अनारकी रही, जो गुंडागर्दी रही, करप्शन रहा, बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ से आम आदमी त्रस्त है, तो ये सारे मुद्दे निश्चित रूप से टीएमसी के पूरे अगेंस्ट जा रहे हैं और भारतीय जनता पार्टी इन मुद्दों की लड़ाई लड़ी है, तो निश्चित रूप से अग्रणी रूप से हम इसमें आगे बढ़ेंगे।
तो टीएमसी का मानना यह है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी सिर्फ 150-160 सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ रही है, क्योंकि बाकी 90 से ज्यादा सीटों पर माइनॉरिटी जो है प्रबल है, उसका जो है वोट शेयर 40-50% से ज्यादा है, तो वहां जीतने की कोई चांस नहीं है। तो इस बार आप हिंदू वोट कंसोलिडेशन देख रहे हैं, इस लेवल पर देख रहे हैं कि आपको बहुमत मिल जाएगी?
देखिए, हम तो 294 सीट पे चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं
जी,
ठीक है। उनके आंकड़े किस प्रकार से वो कैलकुलेट करते हैं वो उनकी पार्टी की रणनीति होगी, लेकिन हम तो देख रहे हैं कि इस बार अगर हिंदू कॉन्सेंट्रेशन से ज्यादा पश्चिम बंगाल की जनता बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ के विरोध में है, और उसमें चाहे हिंदू कॉन्सेंट्रेशन कहिए या आम नागरिक जो पश्चिम बंगाल का है, जो भी लंबे समय तक यहाँ रह रहा है, वो निश्चित रूप से बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ के विरोध में है। और इसको जिस प्रकार से संरक्षण ममता दीदी ने दिया है, इससे पूरे आम आवाम में इसके प्रति रोष है, रिएक्शन है, और उसका प्रकटीकरण चाहे हिंदू कॉन्सेंट्रेशन के रूप में आप देखिए या आम पश्चिम बंगाल के लोगों के समर्थन को देखिए।
तो एसआईआर टीएमसी का मानना है कि ये 2 फैक्टर हैं जो कि पूरा एक इंस्टीट्यूशनल तरह का कैप्चर हो गया है। इलेक्शन कमीशन आपके साथ है, सीबीआई, ईडी की रेड्स तमाम चारों तरफ चल रही हैं और उनके समर्थकों पर चल रही हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थकों पर नहीं चल रही, तो उनके तमाम ये चल रहा है। और एसआईआर के रहते 90 लाख से ज्यादा वोट कट चुके हैं, तो इसका बेनिफिट क्या आपको मिल रहा है एसआईआर का, जो 90 लाख वोट?
पहले ये समझिए कि 90 लाख में से 30 लाख ऐसे लोग हैं जो थे ही नहीं, तो निश्चित रूप से क्या उन लोगों का फर्जी वोट देने का अधिकार दे दिया जाए? और बाकी जो 60 लाख जिसके डिमार्केशन हुए, बाकी चीजें हुई, 92 लाख टोटल जो है, सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि दीदी के ही प्रशासन के डीएम एसडीओ है ना
जी,
तो आपके प्रशासन के डीएम एसडीओ ने फाइंड आउट करके अगर 92 लाख दिया तो ये तो आपके मशीनरी का है। कहां इसमें इलेक्शन कमीशन आ रहा है? इलेक्शन कमीशन की कोई भी मशीनरी जिला प्रशासन और स्थानीय प्रखंड से आती है, कोई उसकी अपनी मशीनरी नहीं होती है। अब उस मशीनरी ने ही 92 लाख डिलीशन के लिए अगर आगे प्रस्ताव बढ़ाया तो इसमें दीदी को बेचैन क्यों होना चाहिए? और 92 लाख अगर जा रहे हैं तो उसके अगेंस्ट तो आप कहां कहां दरवाजा नहीं खटखटाई, वहां से भी क्या जवाब मिला? आप क्यों वैसे लोगों की चिंता कर रही थी जो यहां है ही नहीं? क्या मंशा थी आपकी?
तो आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं कि जो लोग यहां थे ही नहीं, जो इसमें आए हैं, उनका वोट ये लोग फर्जी डाल रहे थे?
अरे कह नहीं रही, यही तो बात है, यही चीज की वकालत करिए दीदी, जो लोग है नहीं उनके वोट की वकालत। ये तो कहीं ना कहीं आम आदमी को समझ में आने वाली बात है कि उनकी वकालत जो है नहीं, ये किस उद्देश्य से किया जा रहा है? मंशा स्पष्ट नजर आ रही है।
वो कह रहे हैं कि माइनॉरिटी वोट बैंक से जो आपने जो है वो काट दिए हैं, तो इसलिए उनके जो वोटर्स थे वो उनका आप काट कर जीतना चाहते हैं।
बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठिए जो होंगे निश्चित रूप से उनका नाम कटेगा। अब वो माइनॉरिटी है कि मेजोरिटी है ये वो समझे, लेकिन स्पष्ट रूप से हम इस देश के नागरिकों के प्रति जवाबदेह है, हम विदेश से आए हुए बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों के प्रति जवाबदेह नहीं है।
27 लाख लोग डिसएनफ्रेंचाइज हो गए हैं इस बार, इसको आप कैसे देखते हैं? ये लॉजिकल डिस्क्रिपेंसी के तहत इसको जो है, लोगों के पास 2002 की मैपिंग भी है, गवर्नमेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स भी हैं और उसके बाद वोट नहीं दे पा रहे हैं।
देखिए इस पूरे प्रोसेस को देखिए, सभी राज्यों ने इसी टाइम पीरियड में ये प्रोसेस पूरा किया, पूरी सिस्टम ऑफ मशीनरी आपके पास थी, आपके लोग, और उनको 4-4 महीना एक एक चीज के लिए इलेक्शन कमीशन एक महीने का टाइम देता है। पहले ड्राफ्ट पब्लिकेशन होता है, उसमें आप दावा आपत्ति, उसके पहले फिर 1 महीने का और एक्सटेंशन टाइम देता है। 2-2 महीने में अगर सब लोगों ने कंप्लेन किया, दावा किया होता तो ये विषय आ रहे होते। लेकिन दीदी का जो ये विषय है, 27 लाख लोग और ये विषय, इनको पूरा समय दिया गया। और आज भी प्रोसेस में ये देखना चाहिए कि हम जिन लोगों को अधिकार दे रहे हैं वो अगर है तो निश्चित रूप से उनको अधिकार मिलना चाहिए, जो नहीं है उनके चिंता में क्यों बेचैन है ये मैं नहीं समझ पाया।
तो आप कह रहे हैं ये 27 लाख जो भी हुआ है ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव डिले हुआ है, जो कि उनके एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने किया।
ऑब्वियसली इतने लंबे समय तक चीजों को फंसा के रखना, और इतने आपको कब का, बाकी सभी राज्य उसी प्रोसेस को कंप्लीट किए ना, हमारे बिहार में भी हुआ था पूरा टाइम पीरियड, हम तो 2 महीने में हम लोगों ने किया। जुलाई अगस्त में हमारे यहाँ हुआ, सितंबर में प्रकाशन हो गया, यहाँ तो पूरा 4 महीना चला, दिसंबर से लेकर पूरा मार्च तक चला। आप उस प्रोसेस को, क्योंकि आपकी इच्छा ही नहीं थी इसको कराने की, आप शुरू से इसमें रोड़ा अटका रही थी, क्योंकि आपके हिडन एजेंडा थे, और उस हिडन एजेंडा को पूरा करने में आपने यहाँ के लोगों का भी नुकसान किया है।
वो कह रही है कि 2.5 लाख पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस जो है बंगाल में लगी हुई हैं, इस तरीके से कैसे इलेक्शन हो सकता है?
मैं ये मानता हूं कि अगर फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन के लिए कोई भी मेथड यूज करना हो तो करना चाहिए, और अगर इलेक्शन कमीशन मानता है कि हमको फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन के लिए हमको पूरी मशीनरी चाहिए तो निश्चित रूप से सरकार को उपलब्ध कराना पड़ेगा।
हम लोगों ने देखा है कि पिछले चुनाव में महिलाओं का रोल, भूमिका जो है बहुत अहम रही है, किसी की भी जीत हो उनका रोल बहुत हो रहा है। क्या आपको लगता है कि महिलाएं बंगाल में आज दीदी के साथ नहीं है जैसे पहले थी? उनकी स्कीम है लक्ष्मी भंडार, उसमें जो है 1500 रुपए मिलता है, तो क्या ये एक फैक्टर होगा जिससे माइनॉरिटी के अलावा विमेन वोटर्स भी उनका रुझान भी उनकी तरफ हो सकता है?
देखिए, एक तो देश भर में महिला वोटर्स भाजपा के साथ आ रही है, यहां पर भी जिन नारों के साथ वो सरकार में आई, मां, माटी, मानुष, उन तीनों के साथ जो वादा खिलाफी किया, उन तीनों के साथ जो सौतेला व्यवहार, इस राज्य की महिलाओं के साथ जिस प्रकार से व्यवहार हुआ है असुरक्षा को लेकर, वो कहीं ना कहीं आम लड़की हो, महिला हो, सब, चाहे ग्रामीण महिला हो चाहे शहरी महिला हो, सबको इससे भयभीत है। उनके जो गुंडा राज चलते हैं, हर हफ्ते चौक चौराहे पर जो उनकी वसूली चलती है, उससे हर महिला परेशान। वहां तो महिला लोग को ये कहना है, जब हम लोग कैंपेन में जाए, कि एक हाथ से दीदी देती है 1500 रुपया और दूसरे हाथ से वसूली करने वाले पहुंच जाते हैं। तो आज महिलाओं के अंदर जब रोष है कि न हमको सुरक्षा मिल रहा है, न सम्मान मिल रहा है, और स्वाभिमान से जीने का तो कोई मौका नहीं है यहाँ पर, जिस प्रकार से बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठिया हो रहे हैं, आम महिला अपने आप को डरी हुई महसूस कर रही है। तो निश्चित रूप से ममता दीदी के प्रति कोई सहानुभूति नहीं है। एक महिला मुख्यमंत्री होते हुए इस राज्य की महिलाओं का ही अगर शोषण हुआ होगा, इस महिला मुख्यमंत्री होते हुए महिलाओं के आरक्षण का विरोध करने वाली ऐसे मुख्यमंत्री से क्या उम्मीद करेगी यहाँ की महिलाएं?
आपकी जो स्कीम है 3000 रुपए वाली, क्या उसकी मैसेज जो है जमीन तक पहुंच पाई है?
देखिए, हम लोग जो संकल्प पत्र लाते हैं, हम निश्चित रूप से जनता के हर फोरम पे लेकर उसको जाते हैं, और उसके हमारे कई तरीके हैं। हम जनता के बीच में जाकर कैंपेन के माध्यम से अपने डोर टू डोर कैंपेन है, लिफलेट, बाकी सब हम निश्चित रूप से इसको पहुंचा रहे हैं। और हमको आश्वस्त है कि देश भर में एक बड़ा ही ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड हमारा अच्छा रहा है कि मोदी है तो मुमकिन है, और मोदी की गारंटी मतलब पूरा होने की गारंटी। आज देश भर के जितने भी राज्यों में हम लोगों ने आगे बढ़कर संकल्प लिया, उन संकल्प को हमने पूरा किया है। तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारा ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड ऐसा है, निश्चित रूप से महिलाएं हमारे साथ आएंगी।
बंगाल में मेरा एक डायरेक्ट सवाल है, कितनी सीटों की उम्मीद है आपको?
देखिए, मैं सीटों के आंकड़े में तो स्पष्ट रूप से आपसे क्या बताऊंगा। मैं ये मानता हूं कि जो रुझान दिख रहे हैं, जो पब्लिक का एक वेविंग और पब्लिक का जो सपोर्ट दिख रहा है, हम यहाँ पर एब्सोल्यूट मेजोरिटी की सरकार बनाने जा रहे हैं।
एब्सोल्यूट मेजोरिटी 150, 160, 170, एक आपका जो अंदर का आंकड़ा है वो बताएं।
नहीं, अंदर के आंकड़े नहीं, अब तो जनता वोट कर रही है। अब सारे आंकड़े शाम तक तो कुछ आपके पास भी आ जाएंगे, और अगला फेज में मैं मानता हूं कि बहुत ही एग्जैक्ट फिगर है कि हम अपने बहुमत से कई बड़े अंक आगे रहेंगे।
तमिलनाडु की बात करते हैं। तमिलनाडु में आपको क्या उम्मीद है अपनी एनडीए से?
जिस प्रकार से डीएमके का करप्शन, जिस प्रकार से डीएमके की एनआरकी, और जिस प्रकार से सनातन विरोधी मानसिकता, वो पूरी तरह से तमिलनाडु में लोगों में रिएक्शन है। वहां हमारी भूमिका छोटी है, हम अलायंस पार्टनर में हैं, और हमारा मुख्य दल एआईडीएमके वहां पर लड़ रहे हैं हम लोग मिलकर। हमारा ये मानना है कि जिस प्रकार से पब्लिक के अंदर रिएक्शन मैंने देखा, मैं खुद भी कई कैंपेन में वहां पर गया, मुझे बहुत स्पष्ट दिख रहा है कि डीएमके को इस बार इसका भारी नुकसान होगा।
विजय फैक्टर कितना बड़ा है? ये किसको नुकसान करेगा या किसको फायदा करेगा?
देखिए, विजय फैक्टर कितना बनेगा, राजनीति में कई बार ग्लैमर से भी लोग आते हैं और स्थान बनाते हैं, पर मेरा हमेशा मानना है पिच पे थोड़ा समय बिताना पड़ता है। और अगर कई बार हम लोगों ने देखे ऐसे ऐसे कई बड़े लोग आते हैं और वो कितने मजा जमीन पर रह पाते हैं, वो देखने का विषय है। मैं मानता हूं कि विजय जी के लिए शुरुआत जरूर है, पर बहुत बड़ी शुरुआत होगी ऐसा मैं नहीं मानता हूं।
तो ज्यादातर पोल डीएमके को दिखा रहे हैं कि डीएमके आगे है। क्या आने वाले समय में विजय के साथ मिलकर सरकार बनने की कोई संभावना है? कोई पोस्ट पोल अलायंस की बात हो सकती है?
हमारी ऑलरेडी अपनी अलायंस वर्किंग है और सभी अलायंस पार्टनर हम लोग मिलकर चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं। हम आज पोस्ट पोल के लिए कहीं कोई संभावना मुझे नहीं दिख रही है। मुझे लग रहा है कि हम एनडीए एज ए फ्रंट सरकार बनाएंगे।
तो विजय के साथ हाथ मिलाने का कोई
आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ेगी
और सरकार बनेगी?
हम तो आश्वस्त हैं।
असम में कैसे देखते हैं? ऑपोजिशन का कहना है कि असम में अगर आपकी सरकार बनेगी तो डिलिमिटेशन के फायदे की वजह से बनेगी। आप इसको कैसे देखते हैं?
मेरे जो कांग्रेस के साथी लोग हैं, ये डिलिमिटेशन तो आपने भी कई बार कराया, क्यों नहीं आप लगातार सरकार बनाते रह गए? सरकार केवल डिलिमिटेशन से बनती और इन सब चीजों से, तब तो आपकी सरकार कभी नहीं जाती। वो जनता के मैंडेट से बनती है। जनता के बीच में हमारा क्या अप्रोच है, क्या हमारा रीच है, हमने डेवलपमेंट कैसे किया, हमने लॉ एंड ऑर्डर कैसे किया, हमने गवर्नेंस कैसे दिया, इन मुद्दों पे बनता है। हमारी लीडरशिप कैसा काम किया, इन मुद्दों पे बनता है। डिलिमिटेशन पे अगर सरकारें बनती तो दिल्ली में बैठे बैठे जो डिलिमिटेशन कानून बनाए थे वही सत्ता में अभी रहते।
साउथ में भारतीय जनता पार्टी अब एक तरीके से अपनी साख नहीं जमा पा रही है। तमिलनाडु में आप पहले अन्नामलाई को आपने आगे किया, उसके बाद उनको आपने पीछे कर लिया, आप एआईडीएमके के संग गए, तो अकेले जाने की हिम्मत नहीं की आपने तमिलनाडु में। लगता है कि इसका खामियाजा भुगतना पड़ेगा आने वाले समय में।
देखिए, गठबंधन दल धर्म को हम लोगों ने निभाया है, और अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी के समय में से आप देखिए, हमने हमेशा अलायंस को अपना प्रमुखता से रखा है। जब हम 303 के आंकड़े में भी थे तो भी हम एनडीए के रूप में थे। आज हम अगर 240 पे भी हैं तो भी हम एनडीए के स्वरूप में रखते हैं। हम हमेशा मानते हैं कि इस देश की राजनीति को गठबंधन का विषय के साथ लेके चलना है, ताकि हम सभी तरह के माइंडसेट को अपने साथ लेके चलें। जहां तक तमिलनाडु की बात है, मैं इस पे स्पष्ट मानता हूं, परिस्थितियां राजनीति में कई बार अलग अलग होती हैं, अंकगणित के आधार पर अपने दावे प्रतिदावे होते हैं, लेकिन AIDMK, बीजेपी और हमारे एनडीए अलायंस एक स्वाभाविक रूप से वहां पर पब्लिक के लिए अलायंस है, और उस अलायंस के साथ हम लोग ने फिर विधानसभा चुनाव में आगे बढ़े। अन्नामलई लोकसभा चुनाव लड़े थे, इस बार पूरे विधानसभा चुनाव में पूरे कैंपेन में हमारे स्टार प्रचारक रहे हैं। मैक्सिमम मेरे साथ 2 रोड शो में वो रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री के कार्यक्रम में, तो कहाँ पीछे किया है। अब एक व्यक्ति को अगर लोकसभा मिला है तो बाद में उसके लिए पार्टी हर आदमी के लिए होमवर्क करके रखती है।
थोड़ा लग रहा था कि मुंह फुलाए बैठे हुए।
देखिए, मैं तो मानता हूँ पार्टी हर कार्यकर्ता के लिए होमवर्क किए रहती है, समय आने पर उस होमवर्क का पता चलता है।
केरला में आप कैसे देखते हैं, कौन जीतेगा? कांग्रेस का पड़ला भारी है या फिर पिनराई विजयन का?
जिस प्रकार से केरल में हम लोग की बढ़ोतरी हो रही है, 1.5% से 20% तक वोट पे गए। कल तक इन दोनों की जो मैच फिक्सिंग थी, LDF UDF की जो खेल चलता था, मैं मानता हूं कि बीजेपी ने स्पष्ट रूप से अपनी उपस्थिति बड़े अंक के साथ दर्ज की है, और कहीं ना कहीं ये उपस्थिति दिख रही है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का भविष्य अब केरल में दम सामने आने वाला है। तो ये जो LDF UDF का खेल है, इनकी मैच फिक्सिंग गेम चलती रहेगी। हम अपनी उपस्थिति स्ट्रांग रूप से और बेहतर तरीके से देने जा रहे हैं।
नितिन जी, ये तो रहे अभी के होने वाले चुनाव की बात, कुछ चर्चा करते हैं आने वाली चुनौतियों की, आने वाले समय की। आपके अगले साल 7 स्टेट्स के चुनाव हैं, इनमें सबसे बड़ी चुनौती किन स्टेट्स को आप मानते हैं? उत्तर प्रदेश को कैसे देखते हैं? ये एक अहम चुनाव होगा अगले साल।
देखिए, उत्तर प्रदेश में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, माननीय योगी आदित्यनाथ जी, जिस प्रकार से उत्तर प्रदेश को एक उत्तम प्रदेश बनाने की प्रक्रिया में हम आगे बढ़े हैं, जिस उत्तर प्रदेश में अपराध के लिए जाना जाता था, वसूली के लिए जाना जाता था, और जिस केवल कास्ट के नाम पर लोगों को भ्रमित करने के लिए जाना जाता था, आज उत्तर प्रदेश विकास के नाम पर जाना जा रहा है, एक्सप्रेसवे के नाम पर जाना जा रहा है, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के रूप में जाना जा रहा है। तो निश्चित रूप से आम आवाम को जिन चीजों की पहली आवश्यकता होती है, गवर्नेंस, डेवलपमेंट, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ग्रोथ, इन सब चीजों में आज उत्तर प्रदेश बेहतर तरीके से देश के अग्रणी राज्यों में काम कर रहा है। तो आम जनमानस इसको देखकर वोट करता है। आज हमने अगर गरीब की भी चिंता की, चाहे वो प्रधानमंत्री अन्न योजना से लेकर पूरी तरह से सरकार की योजनाओं को नीचे क्रियान्वयन तक, वहीं हमने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ग्रोथ भी दिखाया। हम इन्वेस्टमेंट भी बड़े पैमाने पर उत्तर प्रदेश में ला रहे हैं। एक लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का जो USP है योगी जी का, वो भी दिख रहा है। तो मैं मानता हूं कि आज उत्तर प्रदेश के कई शहर आज विकसित शहर के रूप में दिख रहे हैं। तो ये सब चीजें हमारे लिए स्पष्ट रूप से हमारे तीसरे सरकार बनाने के लिए, हैट्रिक बनाने के लिए काफी है।
तो 2024 में फिर झटका क्यों लगा?
देखिए, हर चुनाव अपने अलग अलग परिस्थितियों को लेके आता है, उसमें भी कुछ चीजें हमारी कमी रही, हम लोग उस पर काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो भी मैंडेट रहा वो मैंडेट हमारे पक्ष में रहा। हाँ, ये जरूर है कुछ कमियां हमारी थी, हम उसको दूर कर रहे हैं।
पंजाब एक स्टेट है जहां पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपना कोई चुनाव हरदम आपने किसी पार्टनर के साथ लड़ा है, मगर आप अपना स्थान एक तरीके से नहीं बना पाए। आने वाले समय में पंजाब में आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया रहेगी? क्या आम आदमी पार्टी इस वक्त पंजाब में स्ट्रांग है?
देखिए, आम आदमी पार्टी तो अपने ही कर्मों के आधार पर, कुकर्मों के आधार पर गिरेगी। ये जरूर है, पंजाब हमारे लिए चुनौती रहा है हमारे आधार को बढ़ाने के लिए, लेकिन मैं मानता हूं कि पंजाब के लोगों के साथ जो हमारा संबंध रहा है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी पंजाब के साथ हर फोरम पे खड़ी रही है, हर समय खड़ी रही है, चाहे वो जनसंघ काल क्यों ना हो। जनसंघ कालखंड से हमें वोट कम मिले, हम कम स्थान पर, लेकिन हमने पंजाब के सिचुएशन को, पंजाब के मिजाज को हमेशा अपने नजदीक पाया और हमने हमेशा उनके साथ। और आने वाले समय में संघर्ष होता है, कई बार हमको समय लगता है उस पिच पे अपने आप को जमाने का। मैं मानता हूं कि 2026 का जब 27 का जब इलेक्शन होगा पंजाब, इस बार पंजाब भाजपा के दृष्टि से नया स्वरूप में दिखेगा।
तो क्या आप अकेले लड़ेंगे इस बार?
100% हम अकेले लड़ेंगे और एक नए स्वरूप में दिखेंगे।
और अकाली दल के किसी के साथ कोई समझौता नहीं?
देखिए, आज हम अपने स्वरूप में, अपने संगठन के बल पर अपनी जनाधार को बढ़ाते हुए चुनाव मैदान में जाएंगे।
उत्तराखंड में आप कैसे देखते हैं पार्टी की पोजीशन? काफी चुनौतियां रही हैं पिछले 1 सालों में।
देखिए, हर राज्य सरकारों को वहां की परिस्थितियों को संभालने की कई चुनौतियां होती, लेकिन हम अपने ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड को देखते हैं, हम डेवलपमेंट को देखते हैं, हम वहाँ के जो इम्प्रूवमेंट होना चाहिए हर आदमी के पब्लिक के लाइफ में, उन सब चीज़ के ग्रोथ को देखते हैं। और मैं मानता हूँ कि आज उत्तराखंड पूरी तरह से डेवलपमेंट के फोरम के हिसाब से देखिए, पूरे हमारे जो यूएसपी रहती है गवर्नेंस का, उस फोरम से देखिए, तो हम बेहतर रूप से आगे बढ़े हैं और पुष्कर सिंह धामी के नेतृत्व में निश्चित रूप से हम और बेहतर परिणाम लेके आएंगे।
तो आने वाले समय में यूपी और उत्तराखंड में चेहरा योगी और धामी ही होंगे?
देखिए, हमारे मुख्यमंत्री हैं, उनके नेतृत्व में हम सरकार चलाए तो निश्चित रूप से चेहरे होंगे।
बिहार के बारे में बात करते हैं, वहां पे भी एक तरीके से एक जनरेशनल शिफ्ट हुआ है, पहला भाजपा का मुख्यमंत्री और वो भी काफी उम्र में कम। इसको कैसे देखते हैं? आप तो वहां से आते हैं, आप वहां मंत्री भी रहे हैं, कार्यकर्ता भी रहे हैं।
देखिए, बिहार हमारे एनडीए और बीजेपी के समय से लंबे समय तक हमारा आधार क्षेत्र रहा। हम लोगों ने अलायंस पॉलिटिक्स के में निश्चित रूप से बिलीव किया। एक समय हम बड़ी पार्टी थे तो भी हम लोगों ने नीतीश कुमार को अपना नेतृत्वकर्ता बनाकर आगे किया और उस गठबंधन को हमने निभाया भी लंबे समय। और आज कहीं ना कहीं एक समय आया जब जदयू ने वो फैसला किया जो फैसला हमने कभी पहले किया था और नीतीश कुमार के नेतृत्व में वो फैसला हुआ, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को मौका मिला। और मैं ये मानता हूं कि ये दोनों दलों की आपस की जो एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, जो अपने आप में इतिहास में लिखी जाएगी कि दोनों ही दलों ने जब जब मौका मिला गठबंधन धर्म को कैसे निभाया। आज मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में हम लोग चुनाव लड़े, लेकिन मुख्यमंत्री जी ने निर्णय किया। एक समय था जब हम खुद बड़ी संख्या में थे, फिर भी हमने निर्णय नीतीश कुमार के लिए किया। तो ये दोनों ही चीजें मुझे लगता है कि अलायंस पॉलिटिक्स के लिए उदाहरण बनेंगी। और आज सम्राट चौधरी के रूप में एक लीडरशिप भारतीय जनता पार्टी और एनडीए ने मिलकर तय किया है और मेरा ये मानना है कि ये एनडीए के जो संकल्प रहे हैं 2025 के, उन संकल्पों को पूरा करेगी।
बिहार में जदयू जो है, अब इसका अस्तित्व ऑपोजिशन कहती है कि खतरे में है, कि आने वाले समय में भारतीय जनता पार्टी का मुख्यमंत्री, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ज्यादा बड़ी पार्टी है और आने वाले समय में उनके पास कोई लीडर भी नहीं है। इस क्रिटिसिज्म को आप कैसे?
मैं देखता हूं जो खुद ही अस्तित्व विहीन हो, जिनका खुद का जनाधार नहीं बचा हो, वो जदयू जैसी बड़ी पार्टी पर सवाल उठाए या उनके अस्तित्व की से बात। आज आप कहां पे हो? अरे पहले थोड़ा अपने गिरेबान में झांक लेते। इतने बड़े बड़े वादे, इतने बड़े बड़े कैंपेन, इतने बड़े बड़े लोगों को उतार कर मैदान में क्या मिला? जनता के बीच में जब तक आप ही नहीं हो, जनता आप ही के साथ कुछ खड़ी नहीं हो पा रही, आप हम पर उठा रहे हो जिसके 84 एमएलए हैं, 80 एमएलए। तो मेरा ये कहना है कि अपने अस्तित्व पर पहले झांकना चाहिए और जदयू पूरी तरह से एज ए पार्टी स्ट्रांगली खड़ी है और बीजेपी और जदयू एनडीए अलायंस के रूप में हम लोग बेहतर काम करके आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। हम जनता के प्रति कमिटेड होकर काम कर रहे हैं।
कांग्रेस पार्टी को आप कैसे देखते हैं और उनके नेता राहुल गांधी के बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? जिस तरीके से आप लोगों का रिश्ता है उसमें इतनी कटुता है, क्या ये रिश्ता कुछ बेहतर हो सकता है? एक कंस्ट्रक्टिव ऑपोजिशन को साथ में लेकर चलना भी तो एक बड़ी बात है।
मैंने आपको शुरू में ही कहा कि मैं तो मानता हूं कि सत्ता सरकार का अंग होता है विपक्ष, पर इमैच्योर पॉलिटिशियन जैसे राहुल गांधी, जिनको पॉलिटिक्स के लिए केवल एनार्किस्ट माइंडसेट हो, उस माइंडसेट के व्यक्ति को जिसको ये नहीं समझ में आए कि चीजों की गंभीरता क्या होती है, उनकी एक्टिविटी हाउस के अंदर, हाउस के बाहर आप देखिए, उनके शब्दों को हाउस के अंदर, हाउस के बाहर देखिए। अरे एक राष्ट्रीय पार्टी, उसका लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन क्या इस तरह के शब्दों का प्रयोग, इस तरह की चीजों का प्रयोग करता है? लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जैसा शख्सियत हुए, कई ऐसे बड़े बड़े कांग्रेस के बड़े बड़े नेता लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन थे। उनके बिहेवियर को देखिए, उनके एक्टिविटी को देखिए। लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन को मैं मानता हूं कि सरकार का एक पार्ट है, लेकिन उसकी एक्टिविटी, उसका वर्किंग, इस प्रकार का लैंग्वेज, उस प्रकार के बिहेवियर पब्लिक डोमेन पे किस तरह के शब्दों का, मैं तो मानता हूं कि इमैच्योर पॉलिटिशियन है और कहीं ना कहीं पॉलिटिकल ग्रोथ ठीक से नहीं हुआ है।
पर उनके पार्टी के वरिष्ठ नेता भी इस तरह के शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं। अभी खड़गे जी ने मोदी जी के बारे में बोला।
अब तो मैं कहूंगा कि राहुल जी का जो कुनबा है, जो दबाव बनाता है, जो उनकी पीआर एजेंसी उनको समझाती है, वही शब्दों का प्रयोग बेचारे मल्लिकार्जुन जी भी करते रहते हैं। मैं तो मानता हूं कि कहीं ना कहीं ये कांग्रेस की जो ओछी मानसिकता है, जो पिछले लंबे समय से आप देख रहे हैं कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी को अपमानित करने के शब्दों का प्रयोग करने की जो परंपरा बनाए, उस परंपरा के वाहक बनकर मल्लिकार्जुन जी नजर आ रहे हैं। और मैं मानता हूं इसके बावजूद कि उनको इतनी बार सजा मिली है, फिर भी उस सजा से सीखने का काम नहीं करते हैं। देश की जनता ने हमेशा उनको सिखाया कि मोदी को अपमान करोगे तो हम मोदी के सम्मान में और जीत का माला पहनाएंगे, फिर भी अभी तक उनको अपनी गलतियों से भी सीखने का मौका नहीं मिल रहा है।
आपसे बात करके नितिन जी बहुत अच्छा लगा, और ये देखकर समझ में आ रहा है आपसे जिस तरह से बात हुई अभी कि आप यू हैव हिट द ग्राउंड रनिंग, जिसको बोलते हैं कि आप तुरंत आते ही क्रीज में जो है आपने सेटल होने में ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगाया और चौके छक्के लगाने शुरू।
मैं ये मानता हूं कि राजनीति के पिच पे पूरा समय बिताना चाहिए
जी,
और चौके छक्के की नहीं, अगर पिच पे आपको जमना है तो समय बिताना चाहिए।
जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका, आप हमसे जुड़े आज, थैंक यू।
So that was the exclusive conversation with the new BJP chief Nitin Nabin, Rahul Joshi in conversation with him, and of course a whole host of issues pertaining to national politics and the BJP's growth in some states have been discussed. But predominantly I want to also focus on West Bengal, Tamil Nadu states which are poll bound currently. My colleagues Aman Sharma, Pallavi Ghosh joining us. Also with us is Arunima, because the women's bill issue has also been touched upon in this interview. But first up, Aman, I come to you. Let's begin with West Bengal. Nitin Nabin was asked the question and about the exuberance that the BJP, was displaying in 2021 as well. We saw the result. But he says that, given how well we did in 2021, we improved from 3 to 77. If we keep the same pace, the same momentum, then surely we'll be in power this time.
Well, definitely Nitin Nabin there exuding a lot of confidence. He said we went from 3 to 77. If we remain on the same path and the same speed, we will definitely form the government in West Bengal with an absolute majority. He didn't give any specific figure, but he's saying we'll be comfortably above the majority mark, and he's saying that he's confident because of the support that they're getting from the people of West Bengal. He's saying there's a lot of anti-incumbency. People in Bengal are upset with the Mamata Banerjee government, especially women voters, he's saying, are completely upset with Mamata Banerjee. The phrase that he used there, that Mamata Banerjee may be giving rupees 1500 to women, but women complain that immediately after they get that rupees 1500 from the Mamata Banerjee government, another TMC person comes asking for cut money. So Nitin Nabin is very clearly saying that women in West Bengal are not happy with the Mamata Banerjee government. The feedback on the ground and the people's support is what will bring the BJP to power in West Bengal with an absolute majority.
All right, Pallavi is also with us. Pallavi, a very sharp attack that Nitin Nabin has taken against the Mamata government and largely all oppositions that he's spoken against. A very confident Nitin Nabin. It's a difficult election this time. We're looking at opposition ruled states, all the BJP finding it hard to crack into, but Nitin Nabin exuding that confidence and hope.
Well, I mean, it's different from 2021. I'll definitely say so, because in 2021, the Congress and the left had virtually given up completely. But this time round, in many pockets, you're seeing the Congress plus the left also fighting back. And the BJP is completely aware of it. But under Nitin Nabin, this is going to be one big election which the BJP is contesting. And they've been very, very smart and I would say calculative as far as their strategy is concerned. I was here in 2021. Some of the mistakes which were made by the BJP at that point of time are absolutely missing. First of all, it's very much a high voltage campaign as it was in 2021, but this time round it is more focused on vocal for local. It is more focused on local leadership, local issues, and there are no personal comments, no matter whatever provocation, because she's come out with some very personal attacks on the Prime Minister, some on the Home Minister, but the BJP is not getting swayed by that. They are keeping their focus on one, the job, that loss, the non-availability of jobs, and also the fact that many women are having to live here alone because their husbands or their children are having to leave the state in search of jobs. So that's where the women angle comes in. Plus, to counter the Lakhi Bandar of 1500, the BJP has given 3000. So I would say under Nitin Nabin, a big challenge, but also a very, very smart strategy.
Pallavi, interestingly you mentioned about the fight that Congress and left are giving this time, maybe unlike the last time, because we're getting a very important comment now coming in from Rahul Gandhi, and this could actually have an impact on ground. Rahul Gandhi has released a new video amidst the ongoing phase 1 of polling in West Bengal, phase 2 yet to come. But in the clip, he's saying that the corrupt Mamata government is a key reason why the BJP could potentially come to power in West Bengal. Now, this is a massive statement to make, even as polling is happening today or in the run-up to phase 2, because this kind of gives credence to the BJP narrative that they could come to power in West Bengal. Why would a Rahul Gandhi attack the TMC and say this. Now, this will open up a whole can of worms. I think we have that sort also from Rahul Gandhi. Let's first listen in.
भाई और बहनों, अगर ममता जी ने साफ सुथरी सरकार चलाई होती, अगर ममता जी ने बंगाल को पोलराइज नहीं किया होता, तो बीजेपी के लिए रास्ता नहीं खुलता। भाई और बहनों, कांग्रेस पार्टी बीजेपी से लड़ती है और बीजेपी जानती है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी ही बीजेपी को रोक सकती है। कांग्रेस पार्टी का पूरा समर्थन कीजिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी को वोट दीजिए और कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार बंगाल में बनाइए।
Rahul Gandhi there appealing to the people of West Bengal, saying that Mamata Banerjee, in as many words, calling the party corrupt and saying if there's anyone who can stop the BJP in its tracks, it's the Congress. Support us. Of course, this is a last-ditch effort. We saw none of the Congress faces on the ground in West Bengal. That itself says or shows how much hope they have in this election. So also with us here is joining us Pallavi. All right, Pallavi from Nandigram. She's right there. Pallavi, no big face of the Congress was seen on the ground campaigning. On the day of polling, Rahul Gandhi puts out this video saying, if you want to stop the BJP, vote for us. Very convenient.
No, I would like to correct you there. There was Rahul Gandhi who has campaigned, Mr. Kharge has campaigned, Sachin Pilot has campaigned. There have been several central leaders of the Congress who actually turned up to campaign, at least for the first phase. Now we have to understand why Rahul Gandhi has come out with this comment on the day of the polling. No surprises there, because first of all, unlike in the Bharat Jodo Yatra, where you saw no cooperation taking place between the TMC and the Congress, but also the Congress was careful to skip out on those areas which were seen as the TMC bastions. This time round, he's taking on the TMC head on, because today are those areas which are going to vote where the Congress has a presence, where the Congress also hopes to actually win in a couple of seats. Let's look at Murshidabad, Behrampur, the king of Congress party in the state, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, isolated by the Congress at one point of time. Well, Rahul Gandhi did campaign for him. Congress hopes to win that seat. In Malda, the Congress again hopes that Ghani Khan Chaudhary's seat, which is the bastion, and this time Mausam Noor, all of them are going to be contesting. So that's another seat which the Congress is looking at. By their calculations, in the first phase it said they should get at least 3 to 4 seats. For the Congress, that's ambitious, but I am not too surprised at Rahul Gandhi's comment on the attack on the Trinamool Congress, because TMC and Congress are critically vying for the same seats as far as Murshidabad and Malda is concerned. Of course, this is going to have a spiraling impact. The second phase is going to be a very critical one for the BJP, for the TMC. The Congress doesn't have much of a presence there. The Congress already has been making a loud noise about the fact that they were not allowed to campaign in Kolkata. Today, Rahul Gandhi was supposed to be in Kolkata. That permission has not been given, and the Congress has officially blamed the Trinamool Congress for that. And raising a question mark over the corruption of Mamata Banerjee is exactly.
तो आप जो है 45 साल की उम्र में भारतीय जनता पार्टी जैसे उसके अध्यक्ष बने, कैसे आपको पता चला, किस तरह की फीलिंग्स पहले आपको आई, किसने फोन करके बताया, कुछ इस बारे में बताएं।
देखिए, हम लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी में वर्किंग करते हुए लंबा समय बीता, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के निर्णय की अपनी एक प्रक्रिया है। संगठन के कई कामों में हम लोग को मौका मिला, उस कारण से संगठन के कामों में पिछले 10-15 वर्षों से हम लोग वर्किंग में हैं। जहां तक जानकारी की बात है, ऑब्वियस बात है, संगठन और सरकार में हमारे नेता माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी का ही पहला संवाद रहता है। और जब आया तो मैं क्षेत्र का एक बड़ा कार्यक्रम हम कर रहे थे, उस कार्यक्रम के दौरान ही वो सूचना मिली। तो एक बार खुद में पार्टी इतने बड़े निर्णय ले ली है, तो अपने आप में थोड़ा सा चिंतन भी, थोड़ा बड़े निर्णय के बाद एक मन में चुनौती आती है, ये निर्णय, इतने बड़े निर्णय के साथ हम कितना अपने आप को आगे ले जा पाएंगे। तो एक कई तरह के सवाल जब आदमी को इतने बड़े निर्णय से अवगत कराया जाता है, तो जहां एक और पार्टी के भरोसा कर खुशी होती है, वहीं उसकी चुनौतियां भी सामने में नजर आती हैं। तो एक बड़ा ही मिश्रण कह सकते हैं कि उस समय का पहला जो रिएक्शन होता है बड़ा ही मिश्रित होता है। और जब मालूम हुआ तो मैं इतने बड़े टीम के साथ वहां पर था कि सबसे पहले तो उन लोग के साथ बातचीत करके पहले वहां से निकलना था। तो मुझे लगता है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी का संवाद और माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी का संवाद कहीं ना कहीं खुशी और भरोसे को देखते हुए अच्छा लगा, लेकिन सेम टाइम में चुनौती भी सामने नजर आई।
ये एक तरीके का बड़ा जनरेशनल शिफ्ट है भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए। आप काम करते हैं अपने से सीनियर लीडर से, मिनिस्टर्स हैं जो आपसे सीनियर हैं, तो क्या टिप्स दिया आपको प्रधानमंत्री और अमित भाई ने?
देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो पहला ट्वीट है वही उनका असेसमेंट है मेरे बारे में
जी,
और मैं मानता हूं कि वही मेरे लिए उनका रोड मैप या गाइडलाइन है भविष्य के आगे चलने के लिए। जब एक प्रधानमंत्री जी से मिलना हुआ, ऑब्वियसली उन्होंने सबसे पहले तो कहा कि स्वस्थ रहना जरूरी है। जिस प्रकार से प्रधानमंत्री जी खुद फिट रहते हैं, तो वो हमेशा प्रयास करते हैं कि उनकी टीम भी उस प्रकार से फिट होकर काम करे, क्योंकि काम करने के लिए जब बॉडी फिट होता है तो माइंड फिट रहता है
जी।
तो ये अपने आप में प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो पहला टिप्स रहता है। दूसरी जो चीजें रहती है कि एक गाइडलाइन, एक सीनियरिटी के नाते, एक अभिभावक के नाते, क्योंकि एक बड़े सवर में आप आए हैं तो उसकी कठिनाइयां, उसकी चुनौतियां, उसके जजमेंट के तरीके, कई ऐसी चीजें थी। मुझे तो लगता है कि कोई एक दिन नहीं, हर दिन प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो गाइडलाइन है वो हम लोग को काम आता है।
आपको स्टैब्लिश करने के लिए उन्होंने भी आपको बॉस कहा, अपना बॉस बताया।
देखिए, यही भारतीय जनता पार्टी के संगठन की खूबसूरती है कि अध्यक्ष का पद सर्वोच्च होता है और उस परिपाटी से सभी कार्यकर्ता, चाहे वो प्रधानमंत्री भी क्यों न हो, अपने आप को उस अध्यक्ष के पद की गरिमा से जोड़ के देखते हैं।
नितिन जी, बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस आए हैं, आएंगे, आते रहेंगे। आपने चुनौतियों की बात की, तो इस वक्त एक सबसे बड़ी चुनौती आई थी, जो है आप विमेन्स रिजर्वेशन बिल लेकर आए, पारित कराना चाहते थे, पर वो पारित न हो सका।
देखिए, पारित न हो पाने का कसक हम लोग के लिए इसलिए है कि हम लोग आधी आबादी को, देश की माता बहनों को, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के कार्यकाल को देखिए तो उन्होंने सुरक्षा, सम्मान, स्वाभिमान और अब हिस्सेदारी की बात की। तो इस तीन बड़े स्फेयर के बाद एक बड़ा मौका था उनको हिस्सेदारी देने का, लेकिन हम को दुख इस बात का है कि हम इस देश की माता बहनों को उसकी हिस्सेदारी समय पर नहीं दिला पाए। वो तो तय है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी जब जब संकल्प किया है, और मोदी जी की यूएसपी भी रही है कि उन्होंने किसी चीज को संकल्प किया है तो उसको पूरा किया है। हम सबकी इच्छा थी कि 2029 के चुनाव के पहले हम महिलाओं को एक बड़ा हिस्सेदारी में जोड़ पाए, और कहीं ना कहीं आज आधी आबादी को अगर हम इतने बड़े लोकसभा में इतने संख्या में, विधानसभा में इतनी संख्या में लाते हैं, तो एक सामान्य महिला का लीडरशिप इतनी बड़ी संख्या में जब निकल के आएगा तो निश्चित रूप से निर्णय की भूमिका में महिलाओं की प्राथमिकता नजर आएगी। लेकिन विपक्ष का दुर्भाग्य है कि उन्होंने अच्छी चीजों के लिए भी कभी सकारात्मक सोच नहीं, मोदी का विरोध करते करते वो लोग यहां तक पहुंच गए कि देश की आधी आबादी माता बहनों के विरोध में खड़े हो गए।
तो ये टाइमिंग के बारे में कुछ बताएं, इस वक्त लायक क्यों? इलेक्शन के बाद भी आ सकता था।
ये ऑब्वियस बात है कि हम लोगों ने इसके लिए 2-3 महीने से तैयारी की है, कोई आज की तैयारी करके नहीं लाया है। और दूसरी बात है कि ये तो स्पष्ट था जब हमारा बिल पास हुआ था उसी समय कि हम 2026 में ही इसके फ्रीजिंग कैपिंग को हटाने के बाद हम लोग करेंगे, और आज वो समय आ गया था। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि परिस्थितियां ऐसे कई बार चुनाव आते हैं, कई राज्यों के चुनाव होंगे और उस समय पार्लियामेंट भी चलेगा, यूपी का चुनाव होता है उस समय, तो क्या पार्लियामेंट के डिसीजंस नहीं होंगे क्या? ये जो लोग हैं, कितने बार चुनाव प्रचार में राहुल गांधी जी और प्रियंका जी असम गई, पुडुचेरी गई, कितना गई? उससे ज्यादा तो कार्यक्रम मेरे प्रधानमंत्री जी, मेरे गृह मंत्री जी कर रहे हैं। तो अगर उनकी व्यस्तता नजर आती तब ना समझ में आता। वो तो केवल इसको टालना चाहते थे और विषय पे, एजेंडे पे भी डिबेट नहीं कर पा रहे थे।
तो आपने तैयारी की बात की, तो ऑपोजिशन का कहना है कि कोई सलाह मशवरा नहीं किया, कोई उनसे विचार विमर्श नहीं किया, और इसको जो है सीधा ले आके उसको जल्दीबाजी में निकालने का वो।
विपक्ष अपने अंतरात्मा से पूछे कि उनसे बातचीत हुई कि नहीं हुई, ये उनको बताना चाहिए। लेकिन मेरा ये मानना है, एक सरकार होने के नाते हमारी जो भूमिका है कि हम सबको लेके चले। हम हमेशा मानते हैं कि विपक्ष भी सरकार का अंग है और उसके साथ समन्वय करके काम करना निश्चित रूप से हमारी प्राथमिकता रहती है।
तो पहले बातचीत की थी आपने?
निश्चित रूप से उसके कई दौर के बातचीत जो होते हैं उसमें
सारी पार्टियों से, कांग्रेस से, समाजवादी से।
देखिए, जो प्रक्रियात्मक बातचीत होती है, निश्चित रूप से प्रयास किया गया। अगर उनके मन में था कि इसकी क्रेडिट की जाए तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हाउस के फोरम से कहा कि हम आपके नाम का एडवर्टीजमेंट भी दे देंगे कि आपके ही सहयोग से हुआ, लेकिन उनको नाम से ज्यादा मोदी के विरोध में ध्यान रहता है।
तो अपोजिशन का कहना यह है कि ये अगर आपको रिजर्वेशन देना है 33% तो ये दे दीजिए, इसमें क्या दिक्कत है? जितनी सीट अभी हैं पार्लियामेंट में उसमें दे दीजिए, इसको रोक। इसमें सीट बढ़ाने और डिलिमिटेशन की बात कहां से आ गई?
डिलिमिटेशन को लेके पहले आप है कि डिलिमिटेशन पर गृह मंत्री जी ने हाउस के फ्लोर पे कहा, ये डिलिमिटेशन किसका बनाया हुआ है? ये उन्हीं का बनाया हुआ चीज है। क्या उनको अपने बनाए हुए कानून पे भरोसा नहीं है? क्या उस कानून के जब उन्होंने अपने समय में किया डिलिमिटेशन, क्या वो कानून के उन मापदंडों में कोई लूप होल था क्या? अगर लूप होल था तो आपने उस समय क्यों नहीं चेक किया? और आज हम कह रहे हैं कि आप ही के बनाए हुए डिलिमिटेशन से हम आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, और आज बढ़ते तो हमारी आधी आबादी को अधिक संख्या में हम हिस्सेदारी दे रहे थे। आज अगर हो जाता तो देश भर के सभी राज्यों में, और 800 से अधिक में, वो तो 33% उसकी कितनी संख्या में महिलाएं आती। मेरा ये कहना है कि वो जो खेल खेल रहे हैं कि ऑब्वियसली ये अनुपात जब होता तो किसका परेशानी होती। आज हमने साउथ और नॉर्थ की जो खेल उन्होंने खेला उसको भी प्रधानमंत्री और गृह मंत्री जी ने जितने बढ़िया से हाउस फोरम पे कहा कि आप आइए ना, हम अमेंडमेंट करके आपको और संतुष्ट करने को तैयार है। लेकिन उनका विषय संतुष्टि नहीं है, उनका नकारात्मक सोच है, और जिस सोच के साथ उन्होंने इतनी बड़ी संख्या में महिलाओं की हिस्सेदारी को रोका।
उनका कहना यह है कि ऑपोजिशन और राहुल गांधी बार बार ये कह रहे हैं कि ये डिलिमिटेशन जो है ये आप इलेक्शन कमीशन और एक रिटायर्ड सुप्रीम कोर्ट जज की कमेटी से जो आप लोग करेंगे, और ये जेरिमेंडरिंग जो है ये कहीं ना कहीं वो शक की निगाह से देखते हैं कि कुछ सरकार ऐसा करेगी, इस तरीके से कंस्टिट्यूएंसीज को बांट लेगी।
मेरा ये कहना है कि ये डिलिमिटेशन कानून किसने बनाया? हमने तो नहीं बनाया, आप ही के समय बना, और इस कानून के दायरे में जो चीजें आती हैं इसके पूरे फॉर्मूला है, कोई इसमें चेंज नहीं कर सकता। उसके फिर वो, और ये पूरे हाउस में आने वाला था, इसमें ऑल पार्टी की कमेटी के मेंबर होते हैं, हर संसदीय क्षेत्र में कमेटी होती है। ये कहीं कोई ऐसा फॉर्मूला नहीं है जो पहले नहीं बना है। पीछे अगर डिलिमिटेशन है तो मैं तो पूछता हूं कि ये आप ही के बनाए हुए कानून पे आपको क्यों सवाल है?
तो अब आगे क्या होगा?
आगे हम लोग बढ़ेंगे, निश्चित रूप से समय आने दीजिए। एक बार सेंसस होगा तो फिर आगे भी हम लोग बढ़ेंगे।
तो इसके बाद सेंसस होगा, उसके बाद जो है डिलिमिटेशन होगा, इस पर आपकी क्या प्रक्रिया रहेगी?
ऑब्वियसली जो प्रक्रिया के साथ अब जाना पड़ेगा। हम लोग सोचे थे कि ये समय रहते होगा तो हम समय डिलिमिटेशन भी करेंगे, सबको एक प्रॉपर प्रोपोर्शनेट में जो हक मिलना चाहिए वो भी देंगे, और कहीं ना कहीं महिलाओं का जो अधिकार है वो समय पे मिल जाएगा।
जो 50% ज्यादा सीट देने की बात थी ऐसे राज्यों को जहां पर आबादी कम बढ़ी है, तो उनको ये नहीं मिल पाएगा?
नहीं, अभी ऐसा कुछ हम नहीं कर सकते। तो सेंसस होने के बाद जो उसके पॉपुलेशन के साइज आते हैं और उसके बाद उस अनुपात पर निश्चित। लेकिन ये परिस्थिति किसने पैदा किया? ये परिस्थिति जिस बात की आप चर्चा करी, किसने पैदा किया? आज जब गृह मंत्री जी ने सदन के फोरम में कहा कि हम अभी तय कर देते हैं, तो ये तो उनको स्वागत करना चाहिए था। मैं मानता हूं कि साउथ के लोगों का हक की मारी भी किसी ने किया तो राहुल गांधी और उनके कुनबा डीएमके लोगों ने मिल के किया। आज साउथ को परेशानी में डालने का काम किसी ने किया है तो वही राहुल गांधी ने किया है।
5 राज्यों के चुनाव चल रहे हैं, 4 राज्य और पुडुचेरी। मैंने कहा कि थोड़ा सा हम लोग कलकत्ते में बैठे हैं तो इस पर चर्चा की जाए। कैसे देख रहे हैं माहौल को? क्या आपका आकलन है, क्या होगा इन 5 राज्यों में?
देखिए, 5 राज्यों की स्थिति अलग अलग है, लेकिन मैं मानता हूं कि इस बार भाजपा के लिए और बेहतर सिचुएशंस है सभी राज्यों में। असम, पुडुचेरी में निश्चित रूप से हमारी सरकारें रिपीट करेंगी, कहीं इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है। बाकी 3 राज्यों में पश्चिम बंगाल आपको आश्चर्यजनक रिजल्ट के साथ सामने आ रहा है, और यहाँ पर मैं मानता हूं कि सारे जो भी टीएमसी और कांग्रेस के जो खेल थे उस सब से बाहर आकर जनता इस बार भाजपा की सरकार बनाने जा रही है।
तो असम पुडुचेरी में सरकार बनेगी, और आप कह रहे हैं कि बंगाल में भी सरकार बनेगी?
100% अब जो सिचुएशन बन रहे हैं और जो जनता का मूड दिख रहा है, पश्चिम बंगाल में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने जा रही है।
तो पिछली बार भी माहौल 2021 में भी था कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने वाली है। इस बार 2021 से क्या अलग है? क्या भरोसा दे रहा है आपको कि इस बार आप सरकार बना लेंगे?
देखिए, पिछले बार भी जितने गुणात्मक तरीके से हम आगे बढ़े, 3 से 77 सीट पर आए, अगर उसी स्पीड को अगर हम मेंटेन करें तो इस बार तो 100% हम अपनी सरकार बना रहे हैं। जहां तक अनुभव की बात आप कह सकते हैं, जनता कार्यकर्ता का एक जो माइंडसेट दिखता है और आम आदमी का जो रिस्पांस दिख रहा है कार्यक्रमों में, रोड शो में, गति बैठकों में, कहीं ना कहीं वो स्पष्ट है कि इस बार टीएमसी के जो अनारकी रही, जो गुंडागर्दी रही, करप्शन रहा, बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ से आम आदमी त्रस्त है, तो ये सारे मुद्दे निश्चित रूप से टीएमसी के पूरे अगेंस्ट जा रहे हैं और भारतीय जनता पार्टी इन मुद्दों की लड़ाई लड़ी है, तो निश्चित रूप से अग्रणी रूप से हम इसमें आगे बढ़ेंगे।
तो टीएमसी का मानना यह है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी सिर्फ 150-160 सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ रही है, क्योंकि बाकी 90 से ज्यादा सीटों पर माइनॉरिटी जो है प्रबल है, उसका जो है वोट शेयर 40-50% से ज्यादा है, तो वहां जीतने की कोई चांस नहीं है। तो इस बार आप हिंदू वोट कंसोलिडेशन देख रहे हैं, इस लेवल पर देख रहे हैं कि आपको बहुमत मिल जाएगी?
देखिए, हम तो 294 सीट पे चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं
जी,
ठीक है। उनके आंकड़े किस प्रकार से वो कैलकुलेट करते हैं वो उनकी पार्टी की रणनीति होगी, लेकिन हम तो देख रहे हैं कि इस बार अगर हिंदू कॉन्सेंट्रेशन से ज्यादा पश्चिम बंगाल की जनता बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ के विरोध में है और उसमें चाहे हिंदू कॉन्सेंट्रेशन कहिए या आम नागरिक जो पश्चिम बंगाल का है, जो भी लंबे समय तक यहाँ रह रहा है, वो निश्चित रूप से बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठ के विरोध में है। और इसको जिस प्रकार से संरक्षण ममता दीदी ने दिया है, इससे पूरे आम आवाम में इसके प्रति रोष है, रिएक्शन है और उसका प्रकटीकरण चाहे हिंदू कॉन्सेंट्रेशन के रूप में आप देखिए या आम पश्चिम बंगाल के लोगों के समर्थन को देखिए।
तो एसआईआर टीएमसी का मानना है कि ये दो फैक्टर हैं जो कि पूरा एक इंस्टीट्यूशनल तरह का कैप्चर हो गया है। इलेक्शन कमीशन आपके साथ है, सीबीआई, ईडी की रेड्स तमाम चारों तरफ चल रही हैं और उनके समर्थकों पर चल रही हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थकों पर नहीं चल रही, तो उनके तमाम ये चल रहा है। और एसआईआर के रहते 90 लाख से ज्यादा वोट कट चुके हैं, तो इसका बेनिफिट क्या आपको मिल रहा है एसआईआर का, जो 90 लाख वोट?
पहले ये समझिए कि 90 लाख में से 30 लाख ऐसे लोग हैं जो थे ही नहीं, तो निश्चित रूप से क्या उन लोगों का फर्जी वोट देने का अधिकार दे दिया जाए? और बाकी जो 60 लाख जिसके डिमार्केशन हुए, बाकी चीजें हुई, 92 लाख टोटल जो है। सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात यह है कि दीदी के ही प्रशासन के डीएम एसडीओ है ना
जी,
तो आपके प्रशासन के डीएम एसडीओ ने फाइंड आउट करके अगर 92 लाख दिया तो ये तो आपके मशीनरी का है, कहां इसमें इलेक्शन कमीशन आ रहा है? इलेक्शन कमीशन की कोई भी मशीनरी जिला प्रशासन और स्थानीय प्रखंड से आती है, कोई उसकी अपनी मशीनरी नहीं होती है। अब उस मशीनरी ने ही 92 लाख डिलीशन के लिए अगर आगे प्रस्ताव बढ़ाया तो इसमें दीदी को बेचैन क्यों होना चाहिए? और 92 लाख अगर जा रहे हैं तो उसके अगेंस्ट तो आप कहां कहां दरवाजा नहीं खटखटाई, वहां से भी क्या जवाब मिला? आप क्यों वैसे लोगों की चिंता कर रही थी जो यहां है ही नहीं? क्या मंशा थी आपकी?
तो आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं कि जो लोग यहाँ थे ही नहीं, जो इसमें आए हैं, उनका वोट ये लोग फर्जी डाल रहे थे?
अरे कह नहीं रही, यही तो बात है, यही चीज की वकालत कर रही है दीदी, जो लोग है नहीं उनके वोट की वकालत। ये तो कहीं ना कहीं आम आदमी को समझ में आने वाली बात है कि उनकी वकालत जो है नहीं, ये किस उद्देश्य से किया जा रहा है? मंशा स्पष्ट नजर आ रही है।
वो कह रहे हैं कि माइनॉरिटी वोट बैंक से आपने जो है वो काट दिए हैं, तो इसलिए उनके जो वोटर्स थे वो उनका आप काट कर जीतना चाहते हैं।
बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठिए जो होंगे निश्चित रूप से उनका नाम कटेगा। अब वो माइनॉरिटी है कि मेजोरिटी है ये वो समझे, लेकिन स्पष्ट रूप से हम इस देश के नागरिकों के प्रति जवाबदेह है, हम विदेश से आए हुए बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठियों के प्रति जवाबदेह नहीं है।
27 लाख लोग डिसएनफ्रेंचाइज हो गए हैं इस बार, इसको आप कैसे देखते हैं? ये लॉजिकल डिस्क्रिपेंसी के तहत इसको जो है, लोगों के पास 2002 की मैपिंग भी है, गवर्नमेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स भी हैं और उसके बाद वोट नहीं दे पा रहे हैं।
देखिए, इस पूरे प्रोसेस को देखिए, सभी राज्यों ने इसी टाइम पीरियड में ये प्रोसेस पूरा किया। पूरी सिस्टम ऑफ मशीनरी आपके पास थी, आपके लोग, और उनको 4-4 महीना एक एक चीज के लिए इलेक्शन कमीशन 1-1 महीने का टाइम देता है। पहले ड्राफ्ट पब्लिकेशन होता है, उसमें आप दावा आपत्ति, उसके पहले फिर 1 महीने का और एक्सटेंशन टाइम देता है। 2-2 महीने में अगर सब लोगों ने कंप्लेन किया